Cleveland Browns are 4-3. They'll host the 1-7 Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. And quarterback Deshaun Watson will be back in the lineup for Cleveland. He's missed essentially the last 4 games with a strained right rotator cuff. Also Sunday, the 7-1 Eagles hosting the 5-2 Cowboys. No further hype necessary, says Dallas coach Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I think this game speaks for itself. It's the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And to me, that's as far as it needs to go. And we'll be ready to go.
Mike McCarthy. Bengals running back Joe Mixon and defensive end Trey Hendrickson will both be ready to play Sunday against the Bills. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd out for tonight's game against the Nuggets with a non-COVID illness. Dallas is 4-0, the only unbeaten team left in the Western Conference. The NBA's new in-season tournament tips off with the start of group play tonight, including an ESPN doubleheader starting at 7:30 Eastern with the Bucks hosting the Knicks, and that'll be followed by that Nuggets-Mavericks matchup.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture X card. Earn unlimited 2x miles on everything you buy. Plus, get access to over 1,300 airport lounges and a $300 annual credit for bookings through Capital One Travel. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Jenkins and Neighbors wide to the right. Mason Taylor, the tight end, right of the formation. Williams in the backfield. Alabama can't get the players off the field. They just got him off. They had 12 on the field. Here we go. Snap to Daniels. Sprint out. Throw to the right. Caught. Right corner of the end zone. Mason Taylor. Tigers win. Tigers win. Hey now. 32-31. And the fans storm the field.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR. Presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Alondra Villarreal. And usually Mr. Toby Tomplay, but today it's Chris Cornell. Crank that up, Alondra. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. It is a Football Friday edition of AFR. It is LSU Bama, and you better be freaking pumped because we are. Tomorrow, the latest installment, LSU Alabama. So much on the line, and we're pretty jacked up for it. So we got 3 hours of football staring you straight in the face. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday, his last media availability before LSU would be wheels up. The great news is that Tigers had a clean week of prep. As we know, there's going to be no Zy Alexander, no Mekhi Wingo. Emory Jones is good to go. And other than that, the Tigers are just about as healthy as you could possibly want to be. And one of the things Brian Kelly said when he met with reporters on Thursday night was about the preparation this week on the defensive side of the ball and how far LSU has come on that side of the ball from that Ole Miss and Missouri stretch.
We're better defensively than we were when we played Mississippi. We've made steady progress. I think we're still work in progress, but we're getting better. I think our practice today, and I told them on the defensive side of the ball, was night and day compared to where it was against Missouri on a Thursday. So that's preparation, right? We have to perform. We gotta tackle. We gotta play the ball in the air. We've got to have 11 guys executing together. But we're definitely making the kind of progress that I wanted to see with my own eyes, and we're seeing it.
Progress is a great thing. It would be hard to be any worse than you were in that stretch against Arkansas, Ole Miss, and the first half against Missouri. Of course, the Tigers were able to find a couple stops in the second half against Missouri, and then they were really good against Auburn, winning that game 48-18. And then shutting out Army 62-0. But I understand it. Auburn and Army are two of the worst teams in college football offensively, and this is a dramatically different test. Now, Alabama offensively isn't elite. They're 70th in the country in offense. So it's not like the test is as sincere as going to Oxford with a really creative play caller in Lane Kiffin and all of that offensive skill and the way that they function. Alabama's offense is going to function a little differently than Ole Miss or even Missouri did. So it's a different kind of challenge, but still LSU defensively has to be up for it. Brian Kelly was also asked, if you look at this team today, are they closer to what the expectation was when the season started?
I think our football team is much more mature in handling the moments. I thought we were a little bit further along, that we could handle a lead at halftime and not come out in the second half and think that the game was over. We learned a tough lesson. I learned a tough lesson. I learned as a head coach that I needed to do a better job in terms of recognizing that. So I think I'm better for it. I think our team's better for it. I think we're in a better position than we were at that time against Florida State.
You know, there's so much that goes into a game week like this, and there's so many things that you're going to see thrown out and considered. Alabama coming off of in a revenge situation, losing to a team the year before. Nick Saban in those situations is nearly flawless. He almost never loses back-to-back seasons to the same team. There's a lot of history going against LSU in this game, but you don't play against history. You have to go line it up and play a football game, and the guys across from you. And LSU's got the best offense in college football. You're going into a very difficult environment, night game, CBS, 100,000 people that are going to be full throat. All the advantages you had in your favor a year ago flip when you line up there on the road in Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. So, look, I mean, the thing we know about Alabama is they're a team that has started slowly, and they're a team that has given up pressures. Can LSU's offense get off to a fast start, as they have done throughout this season? And can the LSU defense pressure Jalen Milroe the way that basically every team that has played them has been able to do? The other thing that Brian Kelly was asked about was about actually getting Jalen Milroe on the ground. We've thrown this number out a lot this week, which is the sack total, right? And Alabama is fifth worst. There are only 4 teams in college football that have allowed more sacks than Alabama this season. So Brian Kelly was asked, how important is that sack total as opposed to just putting pressure on Jalen Milroe?
Compressing the pocket and knockdowns are just as important as sacks. Everybody loves the sack coming off the edge, and, you know, it makes for a great ESPN highlight. But when that pocket is compressed and you can't step up and you have to throw the ball in a manner that you're not comfortable with, or that you're knocking down passes because you're timing up the throw, those are really important, and they're equally as important as any individual pass rush. So we're looking for all of those, and we saw against our last few opponents a combination of all those things. We'll look for a combination of all those against Alabama.
It's LSU and Alabama, 6:45 CBS, the night game, prime time, with just about everything for LSU on the line. If you want to get back to Atlanta and defend your SEC West title and have a chance to keep your playoff pulse alive, you got to go win in Tuscaloosa. Tigers are a 3-point underdog, shortest line we've seen since LSU was favored in Tuscaloosa back in 2007, Nick Saban's first year. When LSU went to Tuscaloosa in 2011 Game of the Century, Tigers were a 4.5-point underdog. 4 years ago, the 2019 went to Tuscaloosa as a 5.5-point underdog. The Tigers, the shortest line at 3 since we've seen as long as Nick Saban has been in Tuscaloosa, when LSU was a favorite back in 2007. So odds makers generally are tap dancing right around it. We'll see if LSU can overcome Alabama Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. You know where to find them with 17 locations all across South Louisiana. Terry will be in here yelling Shaw Bills in an hour from right now. But look, the holidays are almost upon us. You're going to be traveling this holiday for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, heading out to see family. You need new tires on that car. Make sure you get them where you're going to find the best tires at the cheapest price. That's at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. We're talking name brand tires at wholesale prices, cheaper than you'll find at the box stores, the membership clubs. You know where to go. Find the Shaw Bills location nearest you, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Schedule service online, all at the website. Chat with an associate with their easy chat function right there in the bottom right. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com, Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Phil Steele's coming up in 5 minutes. We'll get his pick on LSU Bama and the rest of the biggest games of the college football weekend, and there are plenty. You've got 3 really significant games in the Big 12 involving one-loss teams as that jumble starts to work itself out. Of course, Georgia hosts Missouri. The A&M Ole Miss game is massive. It's a big look for LSU as you're behind Ole Miss in the standings. You need Ole Miss to lose. We're all assuming they'll lose next week at Georgia, but A&M could actually do LSU a favor if they go into Oxford and win tomorrow. Gigantic night game tomorrow in the Pac-12 with Washington at USC. Washington, one of the remaining unbeatens in college football, and so that's a short line as well. Southern Cal's only a 3-point home dog, and Washington's not been impressive the past couple of weeks. So a lot to get to with Phil Steele coming up here in just a minute. Before we grab this first break, let's quickly run through the Saints-Bears injury report. This is you'll have another injury report tomorrow before we get the final designation, but here's the final injury report here of this game week. Ty Summers is out for the New Orleans Saints, did not practice all week. He's got the concussion issue. Other than that, Saints looking pretty good. Malcolm Roach and Kendre Miller are both listed as questionable with the illness. That illness that's ravaged the Saints, it's touched now Roach and Miller. They're both listed as questionable. And then a lot of guys who had been on the injury report this week all practiced fully. Lynn Bowden, Michael Thomas, Andrus Peat, Taysom Hill, James Hurst, all full participants. Demario Davis was limited. So, forgive me, and then Roach was limited, but still listed as questionable. So, Saints healthy. That's a really good sign. As for the Bears, they're going to be a little shorthanded. Nate Davis, their starting offensive guard, is out. Terrell Smith, Jaquan Brisker, a couple of defensive backs, both out. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, out. So that's 3 defensive contributors and an offensive lineman all out for the Bears. Justin Fields officially listed as questionable. We're all, of course, expecting to see the rookie for Chicago. And then Braxton Jones, another offensive lineman, listed as questionable for the game. So the Bears will be a little shorthanded coming into the Dome on Sunday. All right, y'all. It is after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We usually start every day by reminding you about Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. My apologies, I missed it. You can hit it, Alonzo. Go ahead and hit the drop. My bad.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
That's my bad. We got all off schedule with the Mason Taylor drop to open the show, and I got all excited and blew right through it. But you're going to be watching the Tigers and the Tide tomorrow. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Drink easy with our friends from Mockler Beverage, Bud Light, great community partners, and obviously the official beer of the LSU Tigers, great partners of the Tigers as well. Drink easy with Bud Light. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. Phil Steele joins us to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. Don't you move.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. My goodness, y'all, it is November. And I keep telling you this because I want to hammer this message home. The perception always is the best real estate months are in the spring. Weather's getting nicer. You're nearing the end of the school year. People want to move at the end of the school year during the summertime. No. The best real estate month in our market is November. Why? People want to be in their new home for the new year, or you want to be in your new home for the holidays. You call right now. You call Darren James. If you need to get your home sold fast and for the most amount of money, you need the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. You need Darren James. And, of course, Darren James has his guaranteed sale program. Agree to a price and a deadline. Darren guarantees he will sell your home at that price by that deadline. If he doesn't, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it absolutely free. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, it's a Football Friday. Biggest one of the year so far. Time to talk to Phil Steele, preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. PhilSteele.com. Make sure you get to YouTube. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour where Phil's just trying to help you pay for your kids' college. That's all he's doing, just doling out winners week after week after week. Phil, how are you, man?
You know, I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
Fired up. Great weekend, an awesome slate of college football, and, of course, it's LSU Bama, which we'll get to. Hey, man, it's also a huge weekend in the Big 12 where they've got this log jam of teams at 4-1 in the league. So let's start there, actually, in Austin. Kansas State at Texas. This is a pretty massive one as they're all sort of jockeying for position atop the Big 12. The Longhorns are a 3.5-point home favorite. How do you see it, Phil?
Yeah, and I think if you look at how the teams are playing currently, I mean, Kansas State's played great the last 3 games, and Texas has been, they barely got past Houston, and the BYU game, I wasn't overly impressed with what Malik Murphy did. And then if you look at the quarterbacks, I'm going to take the Will Howard-Avery Johnson combination over Malik Murphy. However, I actually like Texas in this game, and here's the reason why. If you look at Kansas State on the road this year, they lost to Missouri, they lost to Oklahoma State, and the Texas Tech game was a turnover-fueled game. And when you look at Texas, Matt, I just can't get the talent out of my head there. I mean, they look at the running backs, look at the receivers, look at the offensive line, look at the defensive line, the linebackers, the DBs. They are a loaded football team. They're at home, and because of the last couple of weeks' results, they're only a 3.5-point favorite. They probably would have been over a touchdown favorite 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take the Horns to play their best game recently and get this win at home.
All right. Phil likes Texas, so it would keep them pacing atop the conference. Phil, everybody's going to be watching LSU Alabama. I think we all know that. But for me, I am so fascinated with Texas A&M and Ole Miss because whoever loses this game could potentially see their season unravel in November. The Aggies already at 5-3 overall. Ole Miss, are they actually a contender? 7-1. We got to win this game at home if you're going to contend for anything. The Rebs are a 3-point home favorite. Do the Rebs get the win?
I think that game 2 weeks from now at Georgia probably takes them out of the contender role. Mm-hmm. They've got a pretty tough end of the schedule here, but I like Ole Miss. You look at the running backs. Quinshon Judkins got off that slow start this year. He's starting to run the ball well. Dart's having an okay year. He's not having your typical Rebel year with only 14 touchdown passes, but the defense is playing well. But I just think A&M's got a lot of talent. And if you go back and take a look at Texas A&M's losses this year, that Miami of Florida game was the bad one for them, but they did have a 26-16 first down edge. They led Bama at the half in a massive game and then ended up losing and then suffered a hangover the next week. And Tennessee was fresh off a bye and got a punt return for a touchdown and beat them. I think if A&M comes to play, they are the more talented team and comes out of here with the win. But you wonder a little bit about their mindset with 3 losses so far for the year. This won't be at the top of my board, but I'm going to lean with A&M plus the points to pull the upset here.
Phil Steele is with us. Our chat every week brought to you by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer, GageGenerators.com. Phil, let's look a game that, man, on the marquee it looks really good, although I'm not sure Notre Dame and Clemson are playing for much. Clemson's at 4-4, Phil. Does Dabo and his bunch stop the bleeding? They're a 3-point home dog to the Irish.
You know, on my Twitter or X account or whatever you want to call it, it's at PhilSteele042. I put out this note this week. In Clemson's 4 losses, they have a 94-60 first down edge in those games.
Wow.
They've had the yardage edge, the first down edge, and yet somehow you look at the end of the game, they had 2 of the games where they blew the lead in the fourth quarter and lost in overtime. And Florida State, they didn't trail at all in regulation. They only lost that game in overtime. So they are a dangerous football team, but you have to wonder what their mindset is right now. And Notre Dame, we don't have to worry about what their mindset. They've got Sam Hartman, they've got the run game, they've got the defense. So here's my take on this one, Matt. I'm going to say Clemson has the yardage edge and the first down edge. Notre Dame comes out with the win, but playing Notre Dame over a field goal favorite on the road in Death Valley with Clemson playing with revenge, I can't see it. Yeah. My favorite play here is under 45. I think you have 2 excellent defenses, 2 offenses that are about average, nothing special, no big playmakers. So I'm going to go with under 45 in that one as my top play.
Phil, I want to jump back into the SEC if we could and talk about Arkansas and Florida. Arkansas is still looking for their first conference win. Florida comes into Baton Rouge next week, and man, if Napier and the Gators take a 4th loss on the season before coming to Baton Rouge, I think you start to legitimately wonder, is Napier even back next year? Probably not. Look, not a ton on the line on the field, right in the standings, but for these 2 head coaches, Pittman and Napier, this feels like a giant game. Which coach comes out of it with a much-needed win?
Wow, the number's really been dropping in that game. It was 6 earlier this week. I'm just looking at it right now. I see some 3.5s. So that's pretty interesting because my thought process was, Arkansas has played a lot of close games this year. You go back to the LSU game, they only lost by 3. The Ole Miss game was 7. Alabama 3. The Mississippi State game, I mean, look at who Arkansas has lost to. At LSU, and 4 straight games away from home, LSU, A&M, Mississippi, Alabama. They had nothing left in the tank. That's why they got beat by Mississippi State, but they're fresh off a bye. They play a lot of close games. Earlier in the week, I really liked Arkansas plus 6, but now it's down to 3.5. I still lean with Arkansas plus the points. It's tough to win in the swamp, but I think it's going to be a close game, come right down to the wire. So I'm going to lean with the underdog in this one.
Phil, let's stay in the SEC. The other big one of the weekend is Missouri at Georgia. Phil, we've seen Georgia lock in twice, and they've dismantled Kentucky and Florida. Missouri's trying to play the role of contender. You know, this is sort of a separation Saturday, as it were. Missouri is a 15.5 point. We love the named weekends over here. Not really, tongue-in-cheek. Missouri is a 15.5 point road dog. I know what you always tell me, Phil, Georgia as a home favorite as opposed to a road, but it's a big number for the Dogs. What do you think Saturday at Sanford Stadium?
Yeah, generally I like to go against Georgia as a home favorite, especially early in the year when they're playing nondescript games and they're a large favorite and they really don't care. But what you started the conversation with there, Matt, was Georgia's locked in for 2 games this year, and both times they blew out the opponent. Let me think if they're going to be locked in for Missouri. 7-1, ranked. Last year, Georgia went to play Missouri on the road and almost lost. They barely won 26-22. It was a game Georgia had a 28-14 first down edge, a 481-294 yard edge, but they barely escaped with the win. Will Georgia be locked in for this one, Matt?
I think they just might be. I don't know that there's going to be much of a letdown after the cocktail party last week. I think Georgia's going to be locked in.
Yeah, I'm calling for a locked-in Georgia. And I think when you look at Missouri, they've played well this year. They gave LSU a hell of a game. But they really haven't played that tough of a schedule. Neither has Georgia, but Georgia's proven product. And this will be an A game for Georgia. I like Georgia to win this one by more than the 15.5.
The last one here, we'll come back and talk about the night slate, but I want to ask you about Bedlam. This is going to be the last installment as conference opponents anyway. Oklahoma is a 6-point road favorite. course, the Sooners coming off the upset loss last week at Kansas. And there are the Cowboys who, as you pointed out for the last month or so, a team that really figured it out and one of the hotter teams in the country. What do you think about Bedlam, 2:30 there in Stillwater?
Yeah, the Cowboys have been my ATM this past month. I love these guys. Ever since they switched to Alan Bowman as the starting quarterback, as opposed to using 3 quarterbacks in a game like they did the first 3, even the fourth game, when the game they lost with Bowman playing the entire game, they put up 409 yards on Iowa State's defense in Ames. That's pretty tough to do. Since then, they upset Kansas State, upset Kansas, upset West Virginia, and, of course, blew out Cincinnati last week. I really like the way they're playing. They're at home. The crowd's going to be pumped up for this last meeting of Bedlam. I mean, Oklahoma's leaving the series. They're not happy about that. And I've sort of been nonplussed with Oklahoma ever since their win over Texas. Barely got past UCF, barely got past Kansas. I think this is a toss-up game. Getting 6 at home is nice. I think Oklahoma's got a shot at the outright win. So I'm taking the points in this one and sticking with my gravy train here in Oklahoma State.
Phil Steele is with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Get to PhilSteele.com. That's STEELE, PhilSteele.com. And make sure you take the Phil Steele Plus Tour. More on that, which Phil Steele had another incredible weekend with the Phil Steele Plus Tour and those picks. We'll get to that here in a second. Let's knock out a quick break, Phil. We'll come back, talk about the night slate. And, of course, we'll get to the big one in Tuscaloosa with LSU and Alabama. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Glow Resources Complete Employer Solutions. If you're a business owner and you are tired of the rat race when it comes to trying to hire the right employee, call Glow Resources. Better yet, go to the website, glowresources.com, G-L-O, glowresources.com. Yep, they're based here in Baton Rouge, but they've got offices in New Orleans, Miami, Houston, Austin, all over the place. And they can place employees internationally. I mean, they have employees from India working in Houston. They've got clients in the United States that are doing jobs in Africa where they're placing employees. They are complete employer solutions. They are Glow Resources. If you are tired of experimenting, stop going the cheapest route. Stop wasting money on training and effort. Get it right the first time with Glow Resources. The hiring market's bad. Everyone's looking for help. Glow Resources, that's your answer. Go to glowresources.com, glowresources.com, G-L-O, Glow Resources, complete employer solutions.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We continue with Phil Steele with us every single Friday. Our chats with Phil brought to you by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer. Get your quote online at gagegenerators.com. That's gagegenerators.com. Phil, as we move into the afternoon and evening slate, I want to ask about one in the Big Ten that it caught my eye because of the line. Penn State's on the road at Maryland, and of course the Nittany Lions had the tough loss against Ohio State, but still 7-1, 4-1 in the league. They're on the road at 5-3 Maryland. And Penn State's just an 8.5-point favorite. The line, I thought, looked a little short. Is Penn State maybe a little bit in jeopardy going on the road to College Park this weekend?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I like Penn State in this one. And the key is, if you follow James Franklin, when they lose a game, they usually almost lose the next game or lose the next game. He's got a terrible record off a loss. However, James Franklin off a win is 44-18-2 against the spread. This is a Penn State team that's been playing great football all year with the exception of the last 2 weeks. And even the Ohio State game, that was a one-score game in the fourth quarter before the Buckeyes put on a late touchdown. Now, Maryland is just 7-14 against Big Ten teams as a home underdog. Against ranked foes, Maryland's just 10-24. My major concern would be the fact that I thought Maryland played a great game against Ohio State. In fact, in the middle of the third quarter, they led 17-10. But they did lose that game by 20 points. Penn State's going to have a good amount of fans here. They're coming off a poor performance. They've got to get it rolling. I don't think they look ahead to Michigan this week. Had they been off a big game against Indiana, I may lean with Maryland in a look-ahead situation. But since they were off a narrow win last week, I like Penn State minus the cheap price here against a Maryland team that's been struggling the last 3 weeks.
Phil, I got one more appetizer that I want to ask about. And it's interesting because we're not talking a ton about Louisville. But, Phil, that's a team ranked 13th. They're 7-1, and they've got pretty much a path to the ACC championship game laid out for them. They got to get past Virginia Tech. This game is in Louisville at Cardinal Stadium, where, as you pointed out several times, they've been a different team at home. Louisville laying 9.5 against Virginia Tech. Do they keep this train rolling at home?
Yeah, and ironically, Matt, Virginia Tech's got a path to the ACC title game. They both have the same record. If Virginia Tech wins this game, they play Boston College, NC State, Virginia. They finish with one loss in the ACC. And guess what? They're in the ACC title game. However, Louisville's your real team, and Virginia Tech is not. And the key to me here, Matt, is actually if this game was in Virginia, in Blacksburg with Enter Sandman, I may lean with Virginia Tech, but it's Louisville. You correctly pointed out, I believe the home team in Louisville games is now 14-0 against the spread. Louisville's great at home, not so great away from home. You look at Virginia Tech, same thing. Unbeatable at home almost, and yet look at their road games this year. They lost by 19 at Rutgers. They lost by 7 at Marshall. They lost by 22 at Florida State. So you've got a great home team versus a poor road team. I do think Louisville's a better team. I like Jawar Jordan running the football. He's back to 100% healthy. I like Jeff Brom's offense with Jack Plummer at QB. And they've got a defense that's holding opponents this year to 247 yards per game the last 4 weeks. So they can get after the quarterback, good defense. I like Louisville minus the 9.5 here to win this one by double digits.
Okay. Phil, the other one in the Big 12. As we look for the separation among that clump of teams all there with one loss at the top of the league, is Kansas at Iowa State. So the Cyclones are 5-3 overall, but they're 4-1 in the Big 12. And here comes Kansas, ranked, coming off the upset win over Oklahoma. And I always look at these, Phil, and for me, when I see an unranked team favored over a ranked team, that's an auto play for me. Iowa State's a 3-point home favorite. Is this a letdown spot for Kansas after the big win last week?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Love your logic as well. Great choice there. And when you look at Iowa State, first of all, Jack Trice Stadium is extremely tough to play in. It's windy, it's loud, and it will be loud for this game. Iowa State's playing some really good football. Now, they had a young team at the start of the year. Remember, they lost their top quarterback. They lost their top running back due to that gambling scandal. Well, Rocco Becht has really emerged. He's got a 13-6 ratio. The run game's been picking up. The young offensive line getting better by the week. Eli Sanders, Cartavius Norton, both running the ball well. Defensively, you got a massive edge here. You've got a home team that's holding opponents to 67 yards per game below their season average. And you've got a Kansas team that's given up 507 yards per game the last 4 weeks, 5.6 yards per carry, 70% completion. So they can't stop the run, but they can't stop the pass. Much better defense here. Kansas is explosive, but they are in a letdown spot after that big win over Oklahoma last week. I definitely like Iowa State, and the price is very cheap at 2.5.
Phil Steele's with us. He's on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Again, PhilSteele.com, and go take that Phil Steele Plus tour at the Phil Steele YouTube channel. Phil, USC narrowly escaped their season completely collapsing last weekend. Now they're at home against Washington. It's the night game on ABC. And Phil, when you look at it, as disappointing as 7-2 has to be for SC, they're 5-1 in the league. The Pac-12 title game is still in play for the Trojans, but they got to beat undefeated and 5th-ranked Washington. The Huskies go into the Coliseum a 3-point favorite, a ton on the line here, Phil. How do you see it Saturday night in L.A.?
Yeah, and in the last 11 years, USC's only been a home dog 5 times, and they're 4-1 in that role. So I haven't been impressed with USC the last 3 weeks, definitely not. But in the same token, I haven't been impressed with Washington the last 2 weeks. If not for an interception return for a touchdown, they probably lose against Arizona State. And last week they were struggling as a massive favorite against Stanford, barely came out of there at the win. Neither team's defense is going to overwhelm you. Both teams' offenses will overwhelm you. The total in this one is fairly high at 77, but who's going to stop who in this game? I like the over. But I also like USC plus the points here. As mentioned, they're a great home dog. It is one of those circle-the-wagon games. And last week, as you recall, when we talked about the USC game, I said, look at their last 7 opponents. Notre Dame, Utah, California, Washington, Oregon, UCLA, which is the one game they don't really concerned about. It would be Cal. They showed it last week. They will be up for this one. I'll take USC and the over.
He is Phil Steele. We got a couple of more for you, Phil. Let me jump into the SEC, and this is just sort of out of obligation because there's a lot of people interested in what happens in this league. And Mississippi State's in there at 1-4 in the league. They're at home against Kentucky, which has to be described as a disappointment this year at 5-3, 2-3 in the league. People were wondering, who was going to step up and be sort of second to Georgia in the East. A lot of people thought that could be Kentucky. Right now, it appears that it's Missouri. Boy, what a disappointing year for Kentucky. They got to go to Starkville for a night game there at Davis Wade Stadium. The Cats are a 4.5-point favorite. Cats or dogs? How do you see it, Phil?
Yeah, and since Kentucky's a 4-point favorite, I like the home dog here. I would rate the game a pure toss-up. Getting anything over a field goal is nice. Kentucky, when they travel on the road to face a Western team, they're 0-15 straight up. You've got the home team in this series is 8-0 straight up and against the spread. The only problem I have with Mississippi State is if you go back and take a look at each of their 8 games this year, pick out to me the impressive game, Matt. I haven't seen one from Mississippi State. Meanwhile, Kentucky has had a couple of impressive games. I thought they were good against Tennessee last week. Tennessee's a really good team. I thought they had a really good game against Florida this year. But keep in mind, both of those were at home. They haven't played as well on the road. So I got to go with Mississippi State plus the points in that one. Should come right down the wire. Probably decided by a field goal or less.
Phil Steele is with us, of course, brought to you every week by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer. You can get your quote today at GageGenerators.com. That's G-A-G-E, GageGenerators.com. All right, Phil, let's get to it. The biggest one of the weekend, and of course we're all biased here, but the biggest one of the college football season so far in these parts. It's LSU at Alabama. Tigers get the win in overtime a year ago. That high-flying offense, the best offense in college football. They got to go on the road to Tuscaloosa, where it's never easy to win. The Tide, we've seen that line come down, Phil. It's just 3 now. LSU at Bama. Can the Tigers get it done 2 years in a row?
Well, Matt, we had a conversation prior to the call here, and I have to agree with you. Your favorite play here has got to be the over. I mean, LSU's offense appears to be unstoppable this year. They should be putting up a lot of points. Granted, Bama's got a really good defense. They're holding opponents to 115 yards per game below their season average, right? So if you do that to LSU, you're still giving up 435 yards. You're giving up a lot of yards in the game. And in the same token, LSU's defense has been underwhelming. Slowing down Auburn and Army the last 2 weeks is not going to tell me they have a great defense. The problem with Alabama is the offensive line. But LSU's only got 14 sacks this year, so will they be able to get after the quarterback, or will Jalen Milroe have some success? So I do have to like the over in this one, and as opposed to the USC-Washington game, which totals 77, this one's in the low 60s, so you have to like that. Unfortunately for the side, Matt, I just can't go against Nick Saban in the revenge role. I think he's 17-1 as plays straight up in the revenge role, 12-6 against the spread. They're 16-7-1 as a home favorite, as a single-digit favorite, 2-0. They've got the better defense. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. But I'm actually going to side with Alabama minus the 3, sorry to say.
Probably a smart play, Phil. Man, that Jaden Daniels-led LSU offense, you just never know if they get rolling. That's why a lot of people are going to be locked into this one on Saturday night. Phil Steele,
should be fun.
We're all excited about it, Phil, and I'm with you. I think we're going to see an awful lot of points. It's one of those things. Who in the fourth quarter can come up with the stop or that game-winning drive? And Bama's got a heck of a kicker as well, and Will Reichert if it comes down to a field goal. So we'll see. Phil, the Phil Steele Plus Tour. I said as we opened, I mean, you're just out here paying for kids' college now. I mean, the record. Give me the stats from last week again.
Last week, the selections went 2-2. The quick hitters went 4-1, and the FCS plays went 3-0. So 9-3 last week.
Not a bad hit rate if you're going 9-3. All right, Phil, tell people about the Phil Steele Plus Tour, where they can get it.
Yeah, you go to philsteele.com. There's also a YouTube channel there where you can pick it up. But just go to philsteele.com. It's right at the top of the daily blogs. And it's a nice tour. It's all free. And we offer a lot of selections. You get 12 more free plays this week, and they've been red hot. So check it out at philsteele.com.
He is Phil Steele. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at PhilSteele042, and make sure you take that Phil Steele Plus stories with us every single week, brought to you by Gage, Louisiana's #1 Cummins dealer, GageGenerators.com. Phil, you're the best. Have a great weekend, man. We appreciate it as always.
Yeah, have a great one, Matt. Great talking to you again, my friend.
You as well. That is the incomparable, the one and only Phil Steele with us every single Football Friday. We'll continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Man, the weekend's upon us. The Tigers and the Tide don't play until almost 7 o'clock, so you got all day Saturday to get in the yard and just plant something. The weather's going to be gorgeous, so get on by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. I keep telling you, it may seem sort of counterintuitive. If you're a green thumb, you know this, but this is the time when the weather is cooler before the freezes come. This is the time to plant trees and shrubs. So if you're thinking about those privacy shrubs in the backyard, if you're thinking about some shrubs in the front yard, or maybe that citrus tree, whatever type of tree you're thinking about planting, Clegg's has an amazing selection, full greenhouses, all the locations, and this is the time to just plant something. So get on by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They've been servicing our community for more than 60 years. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the
the countryside, I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
4 seconds on the play clock. They just do get it snapped. Blitz coming. John Parker Wilson fumble. LSU has recovered at the 2-yard line. Curtis Taylor recovers it. Chad Jones, number 3, got in on John Parker Wilson.
Who could forget 2007? Uncle Vern on the call there was Chad Jones doing the damage on John Parker Wilson. You heard the call. Curtis Taylor would recover. LSU would go on to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Tigers on their way to a national championship that year. It was Nick Saban's first season in Tuscaloosa. And Tigers did work that day. It was the day where LSU really dominated the game, but turnovers kind of made it closer than it should have been. But Chad Jones with the massive play there at the end. We'll be reliving some of the great moments of LSU Alabama. LSU's successful days against Alabama in this series history. So we're looking forward to that throughout the course of the show today. I honestly think we're probably in for a game similar to that one. A low 40s, high 30s, low 40s type score where offense is going to rule the day, and it's going to come down to plays in the fourth quarter like Chad Jones delivered back in 2007. All right, we'll get to our tailgate segment here in just a quick second. Hey, I want to remind you, a week from Monday, our friends at the Williamson Eye Center are having their Bubbles, Bourbon, and Best Vision Ever event. So it'll be over at the Williamson Eye Center on Suma. So if you're in Baton Rouge, it's off of Bluebonnet, you turn on to Bacardi, you come up to the stop sign at the right. That's Suma, and it's the building right there on the corner. It's 5:30 to 7:30, so I'll jet over there right after AFR. They're calling it Bubbles, Bourbon, and Best Vision Ever. So there will be champagne, there will be bourbon, and they'll have food as well. And it'll be a panel of people who, like myself, Jimmy Ott, who have had refractive procedures, so you can learn about all the different types. Very informal. Very, very informal. So you'll get to meet a lot of the doctors. Hopefully you come out and join us. Space is limited. They are requiring an RSVP. And by the way, someone at the event is going to win a free EVO ICL procedure. That's the implantable contact lens. That is an alternative to LASIK for people who are nearsighted. Go to the website, williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com. Right there on the homepage, that you'll have a pop-up for the Bubbles, Bourbon, and Best Vision Ever event. Like it'll pop up, click, and it'll take you right to the registration form. Again, space is limited. It's a week from Monday, November the 13th, 5:30 to 7:30, Bubbles, Bourbon, and Best Vision Ever at the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, it's a Football Friday. It's time for our tailgate segment. Kick it, Alondra.
At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner. Fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday Tailgate Recipe of the Week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 3 locations or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
All right, Coben Leindecker's in studio with us. How are you, dude?
What's up, Matt?
We
Happy
cooking
to be
elephant?
here.
We're cooking elephant tomorrow? Is that what we're doing?
No.
Chris's doesn't have like an elephant meat section
not so much.
in the case?
No, not so much.
Have you ever cooked elephant? Can you cook elephant? You ever heard of that?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, I know if you go on these like safari hunts, right?
Yeah.
Like you go on these like African
yeah.
safari hunts, like you can do the big game. You
That's
can
just
hunt
for
giraffes,
and
that's just trophy hunting.
Yep.
All right. So, but you don't eat the elephant meat?
No, just like
Are
giraffes.
you positive you don't eat the elephant meat?
Positive.
100%.
No, you're just killing that to put it on the wall.
Feels a little wasteful.
Yeah.
I'm not against hunting. I mean, go hunt, go shoot. I mean, go shoot, whatever. I know people do get the rugs, right?
Yeah,
whatever it may be. But feels like we do something with that elephant meat. I don't know. Maybe dog food. Anyway, all right. So we're not eating the elephant tomorrow. What are we doing? Dreamland barbecue? I mean, what do we got?
Yeah. So of course, we don't have really anything elephant, or we like to do the competition. So with Thanksgiving coming up, me and Tressie were sitting down thinking, like, man, what should we do this week? And then she got last week we did the cornbread turducken, so this week we wanted to introduce all the sides. So we do a number of different sides at Chris's. So today I brought a little 1-pound pan of each of all the sides.
Oh, sweet. So this is great for a lot of different things. This is great for tailgates, obviously, if you want a variety. So when you cook these up, are you buying the individual side, or do you buy the pan? Like there's 4. I see there's 4 in each pan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that's a little 1-pound pan. So we do a 1-pound, a 2-pound, and an 8-pound. So they're already cooked. You just buy the individual side what you want and pop it in the oven and heat it up.
Got it. So this can be good for just like a dinner at the house if you want to grab one, serving for 1 or 2 people, but you can grab the big pan. So if you get like the 8-pound serving, that's something like you would take to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah,
and share,
that's like
and share
12
with
to
everybody.
15 people.
Yeah, 12 to 15 people. So how walk us through how that works, because I see on the website here, if you're trying to order for Thanksgiving, the last day to order is the 16th.
Online,
right?
Yeah, online, but we'll be taking call orders in. We're gonna take orders in until we run out of birds.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so what I'm seeing here on the website, Thursday, November the 16th. That's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yes.
All right. So if you want, but that's just for the turkey, or for all the fixins and everything.
So that's just for online, and once we shut that down, then you can call in if you haven't got your order in time, and then we can fulfill it that way.
Got it. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. So you can remember back-to-back S's, ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. 3 locations: Airline Highway in Prairieville, Millerville in Baton Rouge, and for all our folks listening in New Orleans, I got the Lakeview location of Chris's as well. So what are you going to be doing tomorrow for the game? What are you going to be cooking?
So tomorrow I'm having a couple buddies over to watch the game, and we actually just got in some smoked brisket.
Okay.
So early in the morning, probably like 5 a.m., I'll go start the Traeger up and smoke that all day till the game starts.
Walk me through how you smoke your brisket.
So first off, I go uncovered. I do 6 hours on 225.
Season?
Traeger.
How do you season it?
Yeah, so we have a Hot Rod.
Shout out Hot Rod.
I like his rub. So we have his rub at the store. I use his seasoned Creole rub it, do 6 hours uncovered, take it off, wrap it in some butcher paper or tin foil, spray my little apple juice on it.
That's right. Remember the apple juice
Get
spray.
it tender, and then recover it with tin foil and do that for another 4 hours. So it's you can do it about 8 to 10 hours.
So you're going 10 hours. You said you're going to start at 5 a.m.?
I'll probably do 8 hours.
All right. So you want to sleep in a little bit. You start at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I got that. So you'll be done around 5, a little bit before kickoff. So the feast time will happen then. Of course, Chris's Specialty Foods, ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. You can go get all your meats there. If you want to get steaks or whatever you're throwing on the grill, and of course all the sides and all the fixings for Thanksgiving and for the holidays. You get the full menu there at the website. All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about the game tomorrow, man. How you feeling? We should mention Coben, of course, is on staff at Dunham. So defensive line coach?
Yes. Yeah.
Defensive line coach at Dunham. So knows a little bit about ball here. All right, give me your thoughts.
I got to stick with LSU, even though I don't feel great about the game. I think, of course, we have one of the best offenses in the country, but I think our defense is just too It's not. I don't think it'll be good enough to stop Alabama, but I'm going to stay positive. I think I'm going to go 34-31. Hopefully we get a last-second drive. We get the ball last tied, and we can get a field goal out of it.
You know, if LSU, so I mean, the way I've kind of figured it is, and we were talking about this with Shea Dixon earlier this week, right? If you average 10 possessions in a game, right, or thereabouts.
Yeah. We got to
if-
score at least 8 of them.
If you could hold, well, think of it this way: if you get 2 stops a half, Alabama scores on 6 of their 10 possessions. If you can hold them to 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, you're looking good. If it's 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals, then you're looking at 34. Can you score 37? Can you score 38? You know, then I think that's kind of LSU's ticket. So.
Yeah, I think the 30 range is that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, I think I can't believe the total for this game is 6. I think it's maybe up to 61, but still, it was in the 50s.
It's rising, yeah.
All right, Coben's here from Chris's Specialty Foods. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me,
All
brother.
right, man. Enjoy the football weekend. Hour number 2, Terrio next.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. Y'all, where Sign Then Drive is back. It is the best sales event of the entire year over at South Point Volkswagen. You know where they are, airline just north of Highland, and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. Sign Then Drive is awesome. It works like this. You go to South Point Volkswagen, you sign your name on a piece of paper, and you drive away in a new car. It's pretty much that easy. You can go get the inventory there online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. The inventory search is there, available on the homepage of the website. You can search by year, make, model, body style, price, see all of the dealer specials that they have going on right now, including Sign Then Drive. Remember, when you're talking about Volkswagen, you're talking about some of the safest vehicles on the road. All of the IIHS top safety picks, all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, manufactured right here in the USA at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. It's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Quarterback Deshaun Watson has missed 15 of the last 16 quarters for the Browns with a strained right rotator cuff, but he'll start Sunday's game against the Cardinals. Watson had a full practice today. As for Kyler Murray of the Cardinals, he hasn't played yet this season, coming off a knee injury 11 months ago. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
Certainly, Murray is in play. Coach Jonathan Gannon has said that he will decide on the plane on the way to the Browns game whether Kyler is going to be on the field. So really a questionable status right now, but he's been practicing in full for the better part of the last few weeks, really trending in the right direction here, coming off that ACL.
Jeremy Fowler. Murray is listed as questionable, and our Adam Schefter reported earlier that rookie Clayton Tune will get his first start. Steelers linebacker Cole Holcomb will miss the rest of the season after a knee injury last night against the Titans. Meanwhile, Tennessee wideout Treylon Burks is now in concussion protocol. The Falcons' top receiver, Drake London, is out for Sunday's game against the Vikings with a groin injury.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming on Monday, I'll tell you why it's time for us to start taking Geno Smith and the Seahawks seriously. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, gonna fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Terrio, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
I have a good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Terrio. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers, and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Terrio around third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Packers win. Go.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Alondra Villarreal.
Let's go.
Showbiz! We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Yo, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's about that time.
Fired up this week, boy.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
About that time. You know, every time I think about LSU Alabama, you know what I think of?
What?
I think of you skipping out on the World Series parade to be there for the 2012 LSU Alabama game, which ended in heartbreak.
We can tell the story. I mean, and I can go into detail. And it was a cool evening in Detroit, Michigan. And yeah, we won the World Series. We swept the Tigers in NBD. And you know, after the celebration, everybody's fired up. We got Charter Bird going back to San Fran for the parade the next day. So I look over at Jonna. You know, we got the suite at the Four Seasons. No big deal again. Actually, it was a double queen or king suite, adjoining room with the family and the kids and all that too.
Okay.
But who's counting?
How did you get that?
I paid for it.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like they gave it to me.
Oh, I'm not saying. Why didn't?
Oh, he had it too. He had it too.
Who?
Whoever you're about to say.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. No, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm going. Well, who? Scudero.
Had it.
Yeah. Why didn't Scudero?
Yeah. So
Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Height of his popularity and fame at that time.
No telling what was going on in his suite at that time. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so that next morning, team bus at 10 to the airport, and charter bird back to San Francisco and whole deal. Well, 10 o'clock rolls around, 9:30, my phone starts ringing, and it was our GM, Brian Sabian's like, "Hey, bro, where you at?" I'm like, "I ain't coming." "Well, you got to come. You scored the winning run of the game." Like, I said, "No, bro, grown man, I don't do anything." Actually, the Tigers are playing Alabama in a day or two, and I got to get back home. I don't have time for this crap. I got to get back and support my Tigers. So Terrios hopped on a plane at about 3, and we headed south. We didn't go west.
There's a picture floating around somewhere of you tailgating, just bare chested.
So that evening was that was a long evening. Big Dunk has that picture.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Yeah, that was a long evening.
Living large and loving life. Long time ago though.
No, I didn't have a shirt on. I don't know what I was doing. I took my shirt off. That was super embarrassing.
Nah,
or not.
That time, not
jacked.
Yeah. It was a steroid era
Just
after all.
Super jacked. Just
sitting on needles.
Sitting on needles and crushing Andro, baby. Creatine for breakfast. Some cold beers for dinner.
And that's
God bless America.
And with all the creatine Andro sitting on needles, there was a season in your career where you the NL singles leader.
And led the league in hand grenades over the second baseman's head. They're like, Terrio with another broken bat single. Actually, he didn't break his bat. Squared it up.
So aside from that, how's your week going?
Bro, this has been a big week.
Oh, has it?
This has been I got a major announcement.
A major announcement?
All right,
Do I know the announcement?
I don't know if you guys can zoom in on this. The lighting's not great.
No.
T3 Industrial Solutions is on board. Like it's ready to go.
Okay.
And I want to tell you guys about it real fast before we get into this.
No. Go to the letter. We'll get to that later.
Can we do it now?
No. Trust
me.
me.
I want to do this now.
No, trust me. Do your letter. Do that later.
But I'm really excited.
I get it. Everyone wants your letter. Do your letter. We'll do that later. Trust me.
I mean, I do trust you. I trust you.
You know what this is?
No, I trust you.
What?
I do.
Okay, then do the letter.
I'm gonna, but I really want to tell you guys about this. I want to tell you about it. I'm excited to tell my friend. Or maybe
Hey, whenever you're with your significant other, like with your missus, and you're gonna get lucky, like it's a time.
Probably.
And you're going toward the bedroom, and then she goes, "Okay, well hold on, I need to go to the bathroom." And
It
then
ruins the whole
and you're
thing.
like, "No, it's good, it's fine. No, look, let me just do." And then you gotta wait 5 minutes. Like that's what you just did. Like do your letter. Come on, do your letter.
When that situation happens with my wife and I, if I know when it may happen again, then I'm okay. So when can we do it? Because I'm excited about this. When do you think's a good time that I can tell you?
In 22 minutes. In 22 minutes.
Dear Alabama, I'd like to thank you for all your contributions to the football landscape the past 15 years or so. You single-handedly forced the NCAA to legalize paying players, or NIL. There's absolutely zero chance that a kid from California would ever choose to take his talents to Tuscaloosa. If you're telling me that Tua left Hawaii and thought Tuscaloosa, Alabama would be a good choice to attend college, then you're an absolute moron. Tua got paid. There's not one person out there who would choose to live in Tuscaloosa unless they were actually getting money to do it. Athletes.
Tua's whole family moved too.
They all came. Funny thing is, you taught everyone how to cheat. Now schools with more money than you are taking the players that you used to get.
It's true.
Good job, Bama.
It's true.
Taught them how to beat you. Over the years, you've had players get caught with drugs and guns in their car.
True.
No penalty.
True.
It's known amongst all the weed smokers like Musso that if you fail a drug test and you are a college athlete, you go to Alabama.
Tim Williams.
And you're good. So hats off to you, Bama. I want to thank you for all the contributions. There's a couple things I'd like to go into, just informative type stuff for the people. There's a bar, the Houndstooth Bar and Grill, that's on the Strip over there in Tuscaloosa. You may or may not be familiar. Matt? Nice joint. Was recently cited for many health code violations, including but not limited to gonorrhea in beer mugs.
No.
Yep. That happened.
No.
They tested the mug. They found traces of gonorrhea in the beer mugs.
That can't be true.
It's interesting, though, caused a huge uptick in penicillin-infused Jell-O shots. So the Houndstooth, they ended up making more money.
Got it.
Yeah, so they added a new item to the...
Entrepreneurs are everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in Tuscaloosa at the Houndstooth
shout
Bar.
out to the guys. There was a rat that was captured outside the kitchen over at the Houndstooth. There is a little grill. They have some food. That rat tested positive for COVID and steroids, so we all thought that was interesting.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so the Houndstooth's got all kind of stuff going on. In other news in Tuscaloosa, and this was actually last week, on the Strip, Kappa Sig Exchange Chairman Slade Pendergrass is suing the Tri-Delt sorority after he was found unconscious with his hands tied behind his back, a black eye, and his pants on backwards Sunday morning outside the house.
That sounds illegal.
Nobody knows what happened. Slade's suing him. It is illegal. Slade's getting his money.
All right, Slade.
He was brought to the hospital after that, and after review of his blood work, it was also determined that Slade was pregnant. So I'm not.
Stop. This is terrible.
I'm not sure what's going to happen with that.
Is Slade a...
I don't know. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with...
Is Slade a she?
With that. I don't know. It's just Slade Pendergrass.
Oh.
There seems to be a little trouble brewing in the lake house over there with Miss Terry and Nick as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Miss Terry was recently spotted leaving the local State Farm office with Jake, the State Farm guy. Yeah, that's confirming what was recently reported by the Tuscaloosa Reveille, that insurance premiums seem to be driving a wedge in the Sabins' relationship. Interesting, man. Looks like little Nicky will have to choose between the love of his life and Aflac sooner rather than later. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there, too.
Well, technically, Aflac and State Farm aren't competitors. But Aflac is, it's like gap coverage, right?
It's just,
like,
I don't know.
Whatever your insurance doesn't cover, State Farm or Aflac.
I don't know. Bear Bryant never liked barbecue, and he married his sister.
Oh.
That's a thing. Nick Saban is secretly funding all the meth labs surrounding Tuscaloosa. I was wondering what he was doing with all that money, buying Mercedes dealerships and funding meth labs. That a boy.
Does have a lot of Mercedes dealerships.
Bernie Madoff, Alabama guy. By the way, yes, he
really?
is. Yes, he is. He helped write part of the finance curriculum that is still used today over there at the University of Alabama. Place is a disaster.
My guy did some research today.
Yeah, the place is a disaster. University of Alabama is. It's the evil empire is falling tomorrow night. It's over for little Nicky and the Crimson Tide. Go Tigers. Sincerely, Ryan.
It's after further review. We'll do Kick Rocks when we come back. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, I want to remind you about, especially if you own a commercial building, you have a flat or metal roof. Remember, Hudco has a silicone coating product. So if you have a flat or metal roof, maybe you have leaks, or the next time it rains you realize you got a leak, remember this. Hudco's silicone coating product is roughly half the cost of a roof replacement and comes with a 20-year warranty. By the way, what are you doing with the 20-year warranty?
How you doing?
That's a little excessive. Can we maybe scale that
It
back?
is what it is, 20 years, man.
We're all about profitability here at Hudco, okay? Want to help people, but 20 years?
That's a lot. It's a long time.
HudcoRoofing.com. Every single corner of the state, love to help you out, commercial or residential. Do business with someone you know. HudcoRoofing.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, for the win, Alamo. A 25-yarder. Alabama will be coming hard for this one. Snap, place, kick in the air. LSU wins. I can tell you for sure now, LSU wins. Alamo with a 25-yard field goal. And in overtime, the LSU Fighting Tigers, and I'll say it again, proves that they are the #1 team in the nation as they have beaten Alabama for the 2nd consecutive year. They beat them here, and again, LSU wins on the road in Tuscaloosa. Final score in overtime, LSU 9, Alabama 6.
Great Jim Hawthorne on the call. It was dubbed the game of the century back in 2011. What a game it was. A game that proved, you could have a defensive battle, a game without a touchdown scored that was just laced with drama and intensity. Every single play, you hung on every single play of that game. Eric Reed with the great interception at the goal line. Mo Claiborne came up with a huge interception as well. The Tigers in overtime in that game got the defensive stop. And, of course, LSU, Michael Ford ripped off a run, which looked like he had scored, but that ultimately ruled he stepped out, and the Tigers would kick the game-winning field goal. Drew Alamon's heroics back in 2011. And the last time that LSU won consecutive games in this series was 2010 in Baton Rouge. And, of course, that 2011 game, the game of the century, something the Tigers trying to replicate on Saturday there at Brian Dennehy Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Do you remember that one? 2011, you would have been. That was the year with the Cardinals, so y'all were in the midst of a World Series run that year as well.
Mm-hmm. I remember the game. I remember winning the game. I don't remember like points in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely remember the game. You know, those games when I was playing, the college football season was like our like getaway from the grind of everyday baseball. And so, you know, all the guys would look forward to watching. The problem is Alabama doesn't have any guys that played Major League Baseball, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't have any locker room banter.
Yeah, so there wasn't any like locker room trash talk, but yeah, I mean, we would. So what would end up happening, which was crazy, is all the guys would just adopt LSU as their team.
Heck yeah, they would.
Yeah, so it was cool.
How do you feel? We'll talk plenty about the game. By the way, our celebrity guest picker is coming up at 5:00 with a great tie to the actual college game day. So we're looking forward to that coming up in hour number 3. We'll pick the biggest games of the college football weekend, including LSU Alabama in the next hour. The big question all week, of course, has been how good really is Alabama's defense? A great defense. It's really like good on good and bad on bad. LSU's offense, Bama's defense, good on good. LSU's defense, bad. Bama's offense, kind of like bad on bad. Bama's offense is ranked 70th in the country, and they haven't been great. But man, LSU's defense has been historically bad.
I think the real question for me is in the defensive backfield for LSU, you really don't know what you're going to get because of the new faces that are going to be out there playing because of the injuries. I mean, and so you say bad on bad. I'm hopeful for is guys that are getting an opportunity to go make a name for themselves in the secondary, which we've seen happen in this series. You've seen this game win Heismans. You've seen this game lose Heismans, and you've seen guys come into their own and really step up.
I do think that there's something to be said for the freshmen that are going to get their chance. Yeah. Having an opportunity. Look, I mean, I know, look, when we start talking about games, I know how it always goes. You look at, okay, well, who's not going to be there, and then the perceived advantage switches to another side. But as plainly as I can say it, the guys you had in your secondary haven't been playing good anyway. So while, yes, Zy Alexander's your best guy, it's not like if you had Derek Stingley, who's All-American, best corner in the country, and then he's not available, and then you have to play a true freshman. The gap between those two guys is pretty massive.
Probably.
All right? Because Derek Stingley takes away a side of the field. You're just like, hey, you, go over there and don't let that guy breathe. Right? When he's not there, it's a significant drop-off. I mean, LSU's pass defense is one of the worst in the country. So what really are you losing? Like, how big of a drop-off is it from Zy Alexander to LaTerrence Welch or Zy Alexander to Ashton Stamps? It just cannot possibly be as significant as if you were losing a Patrick Peterson or Tre'Davious White or, you know, like we talked, like a Derek Stingley.
And we may have seen that happen earlier in the season, have this offense not be so prolific. You know, like if the team was really struggling, you probably would have seen more of the young guys and more of that, hey, man, let's just throw them out there and see what you can do type approach. Because generally when you see that, it's almost like the team's throwing in the towel kind of. You know, all right, we're just going to get young and go with the young guys. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know if it's throwing in the towel so much as it's saying we got to find someone that can. And they tried that, Ryan. I mean, think about all the guys that we've seen start at corner this year.
Sage Ryan around.
Sage Ryan's played outside. You started Deuce Chestnut the first game. You started Denver Harris. Neither of those guys are even with the team anymore. You saw LaTerrence Welch start. You've seen Ashton Stamps play. Jeremiah Hughes has been like, you've tried all these guys because they were struggling. Like, you couldn't justify having anybody lock down a spot. You had to see, you know, what you had. So, I mean, I think what's intriguing is you feel okay having Sage Ryan out there on one side. Curious who it is on the other side. Is it LaTerrence Welch? Do we see Ashton Stamps? Is it Jeremiah Hughes, the freshman out of Las Vegas, that maybe steps up, you know, tries to fill that void? You know, we'll find out, man.
How much run has Hughes gotten?
He's only played in a couple games.
Yeah, he hadn't played a whole lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was not going to play. You know, he was a 3-star guy. They went out and got out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. I will say, if you're looking for the glass half full part of the conversation, Stamps went to Rummel and Hughes went to Gorman in Las Vegas. Those are football factories. And there's a big difference between, and I'll give you an example or a contrast, which is Denver Harris. Denver Harris is a 5-star, and I'm not trying to come down on Denver Harris. Please don't misunderstand me. But Denver Harris was a 5-star because athletically he was super gifted. But even Brian Kelly said it in one of his pressers this year. He doesn't know how to play coverage. He's a guy I think Kelly's exact words were, he's pressing you when he gets off the bus. Like all you know to do is play press man as a good athlete, right? But when you're trying to play coverages and you need to know what is cover 3 and what's your responsibility in quarters and what he struggled. I mean, that's why he couldn't be on the field. So one of the things when you have these guys like Stamps who came from Rummel, which is they're really well coached, it's a football factory, like you come to school with a greater understanding of coverages and how to play defense. I mean, it's honestly, it's why we've seen Ryan Yates in there at safety. He came from a football factory in Dallas, and he just is more ready to play. So maybe that benefits, having Stamps and Hughes. They certainly don't have the experience, but those are guys that I think aren't going to be as lost as some of the guys were earlier this year.
So do you think, the guy with the most experience in that secondary is obviously Sage Ryan. Who draws the short straw to check Burton? Or is that a by committee type thing? He's really the only guy I look at and go, oh, crap, we can't.
No, Bond can go. Bond can beat him over the top, too. So look, here's the thing, man. If you think LSU is going to hold Alabama to 17 points, to 23 points, that's not happening. What I want, can you get 2 stops a half? Can you get 2 stops a half? If Bama has 10 possessions, can you limit them to points on 6 of them? And if it's 6 touchdowns, they score 42, you're probably not winning the game. If it's 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals and it's 34, you got a shot. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Michelli. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Michelli can measure anything. Maybe I wonder if they could measure the decibels at Brian Dennehy Stadium tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably.
What if they had one big giant scale and it was under the stadium and they could measure?
They could weigh
the stadium.
That'd be so cool. That'd be a big scale, wouldn't
That'd be cool.
Be a really big scale. Yeah. But if it exists, who would sell it? Michelli.
Mm-hmm.
Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You're looking for a new career? Check them out. Go at the careers tab there at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. And if you don't call Michelli, you can kick rocks. That's what you could do.
It's time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Terrio.
Kick Rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick Rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge. Or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick Rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
All right, what you got?
A little bout of cold weather this week. Everybody kind of felt it. Of course, everybody's sick all of a sudden, because the weather got a little cold.
Oh, Erica's sick. Down and out, bro.
Maybe faking, maybe not. Whatever is what it is. The people that dress as if it's below 0 when it's actually 50 degrees outside, when the first little cold snap hits and you got mittens on and you got the beanie cap on and you got the insulated long johns and all that, it's 50 degrees. And it's going to be 80 in 24 hours.
I know.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
You live in South Louisiana.
I wish we could just have 80 all year long.
Grow up.
That'd be awesome.
Better than that. Deshaun Watson got the bag. Secured the bag.
He did. Guaranteed, too.
Guaranteed shout out. Way to go.
That a boy Browns. Stay hot.
And now he's been faking injuries for 4 weeks because he doesn't want to play. And they got to pay him. Then people are defending the guy. Come on, nobody even knows what's wrong with him. He's faking injuries. He's rich. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's got everybody. He's got everybody figured out.
5 years, $230 million, fully guaranteed.
And he doesn't play.
$230, fully guaranteed.
He's good. Hey, Deshaun, what's wrong? Can't go this week.
Oh, look, RC.
Talking about Taylor and Travis.
Tavis. Or
It's a
trailer.
thing.
What do you call it? Tavis or trailer? What do you like?
Tavis.
I like trailer.
And then the last one, and this really bothers me, and if you are who I'm talking about, you suck. Okay? I'm just going to say that. Nick Saban went to Alabama when? 2007.
Was his first year, yeah.
First year in Alabama. I've never seen the Alabama A on anybody's vehicle or anybody wear the Alabama A shirt. I've lived here my entire life. I was born at Woman's Hospital in 1979 on December the 7th.
Get him. Get him.
All of a sudden, Alabama starts winning games, and you fake
Go get them.
Alabama fans start popping up all over the place.
Freaking front runners.
Front-running fake fans. You know exactly who you are.
Losers.
You just follow the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because Saban went there. Oh, it's because a friend of a friend's cousin went there. I'm an Alabama fan. No, you're not. Shut your damn mouth. You only like them because they win. They win games, okay? You're fake. Get the hell out of Baton Rouge.
True.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
Yeah, kick rocks. Stupid idiots.
It's all the kids, man.
No, it's parents, too. It's parents, too. Want their kids to go to Alabama. Give me that same energy in a year or two, okay? That's all I want.
You ain't wrong.
You know who you are. Exactly who you are.
All right. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be there tomorrow. Going to be a heck of a crowd over at Don Juan. Y'all come see us. You want to watch the game at Don Juan, you can do it. We'll be there for Whiskey and Wine as soon as the game goes final. If you can't be there at Don Juan, tune in on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, Whiskey and Wine, as soon as the game goes final, live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. Okay, we'll knock out a quick break and continue next. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. My goodness, what a great opportunity to get by Pluckers this weekend. Eat some wings.
God, I love wings.
What kind of wings do you love?
Doesn't matter. I mean, if it's from Pluckers, okay, spicy ranch.
Spicy ranch?
Yeah.
Garlic parm.
Those are good, too.
Gold Rush.
It's like to suck the bone on the Gold Rush.
Do you?
You know what I mean? Just suck the bone on the Gold Rush. Just get the marrow out.
Get it all.
I want to get the marrow out of there.
Got it.
On the Gold Rush.
So there's nothing left in there.
Just get it all out.
It's at Pluckers. You can do that.
It's not easy.
And you can watch.
Got to work a little bit.
You can watch sports, too.
But it can be done.
And you can drink beer.
Got to be consistent. Get that marrow out of there. Got to be careful, though. Get all over you.
It's Pluckers. If you like our wings, we give the bird.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Kelvin Shepard exhorting his teammates on. Down. Ball's out.
Guess who? Drake Nevis. Drake, I got you covered, Drake.
2010, LSU beats Alabama in Tiger Stadium. Phenomenal football game. There's actually a photo. So my office here is on the 4th floor, and if you get off the elevator, the entire 4th floor is lined with framed photos shot by Phil Cancelleri. Shout out to Phil. I didn't do that, by the way. It's just that's how the floor is decorated. And one of right when you get off the elevator, you're looking straight off the elevator. There's a photo of Drake Nevis sacking McElroy. McElroy falling to the ground as the ball is dangling loose. So from that very play, one of really, really great shot. And one of the great games of Tiger Stadium. D'Angelo Peterson had an end around near the goal line in that game. 75-yard touchdown by Ruben Randall in that game. One of the great games in Tiger Stadium. And at that point, Les was 2-2 against Nick. They'd win it in 2011. Les was 3-2 against Nick in those first 5 years. And of course, we know it all changed after January 9th, 2012. But Tigers trying to get something a little back here see if they can go 2-0 under Brian Kelly. I got an interesting text from our buddy Stephen Miller, who texted the show and said, what happens more on Saturday? Punts and field goals attempted or fourth down attempts? What do you think?
Easy. Fourth down. Easy. 10 years ago, punts and field goals.
So I looked it up. On the season, Bama has attempted 2 fourth down conversions. They've gone front on fourth twice. They're 1 of 2. LSU's gone 9 times. LSU's 5 of 9. If you had asked me, are there more punts or fourth down conversions, fourth downs attempted, I would probably say the fourth downs attempted. And late in the game, someone is going to get, I think it's going to be a one-score game, and someone's going to have to go for it on a fourth. I do think we're going to see that, some aggressiveness. When you include the field goals, though, I think that's where it's different. Because I do think both field goal kickers are going to have their opportunities. I think red zone defense is going to be important in this game. And I think Alabama isn't necessarily going to have to be super aggressive at times because they have Will Reichard, who has been, he's the best kicker in their history. He's the leading scorer in SEC history. So I do think if you include punts and field goals, I would say that. If you're saying, do we see more punts or fourth downs attempted, I would say fourth downs attempted because I don't think we're seeing punts in this game.
No, nobody's punting. And I think, Alabama hasn't seen an offense like this either. They're not, they're going to do everything they can to not settle for 3. And we've already seen that Brian Kelly's perfectly fine with going for it on fourth and whatever inside the 5-yard line. It's multiple times and not scoring.
Well, look, you did it in the opener against Florida State. I mean, you're in the first quarter, you had 3 possessions that all got into goal-to-go situations. Well, actually 2. One, you scored on your second possession, but your first and third possessions, both times you got inside the 10, and you came away with no points. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm stating the obvious here, but when you have red zone and goal-to-go situations, if you're LSU, you've got to convert 7s. And, if LSU's going to have plenty of them, and if they convert those, I think LSU's going to have an awesome chance to win the game.
Yeah.
But I think we are going to see a lot of offense in this game on both sides. Punts and field goals combined, or fourth down conversions, I'd say punts and field goals. Fourth down attempts or punts, I would say fourth down attempts. All right, it's after further review. We had the baseball season has concluded.
Yeah.
World Series is over.
Over.
Before the season starts, we always do our preseason prediction. So we're going to revisit that in just a second. I told you, you said you had an announcement that you'd like to make as we started the show. And I said,
when are we going to do it?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay. So everybody's been asking, what's the Riot doing? Where's he been?
Nobody's been asking that.
Well, everybody's been asking me that. I've been getting these text messages, like cryptic emails. Hey, man, what do you got? What's up your sleeve? What have you been working on? Like,
what are you working on?
I know you got something going on. Where's the Riot been hiding out? I'm going to tell you exactly where I've been, Matt.
Okay.
You ready for this? T3 Industrial Solutions.
Okay.
That's where I've been hiding out. Okay. An industrial-based business tailoring our expertise and capabilities to customize and execute a plan based on the client's needs. And you might ask, what are the client's needs?
What are the client's needs?
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Along with my business partners, Trent Davis, shout out. Richard Tilley, shout out.
Shout out.
Rick Ward, shout out.
Shout out.
We're providing excellent service to our clients with everything from mass construction material supply. What's that, Ryan?
I don't know what that is.
Limestone.
Okay.
Sand.
Got it.
Portland cement.
Did you say cement?
Yeah. Portland cement. You're dang right. And it's the concrete. Portland cement. Cement. I didn't say semen. Cement.
You mean cement?
Yeah.
Got it.
Or
I thought you said something else.
Yeah, well, bone marrow, no. If it's logistics you're looking for,
yeah,
we can barge.
You have a barge.
We can ship.
You have a barge?
We can truck.
We go back. Do you have a barge?
We can rail.
Go back. You have a barge?
We got a barge.
You got a barge.
We can ship.
You can ship.
You got a ship?
You got a ship?
We got a ship.
You got a ship.
We can truck it.
You got a truck?
A lot of them.
Like a dump truck?
Plenty. We can rail it. That's the train.
Train. Oh, I got it.
Excited about this partnership and CEA with Lamar Dixon out at Ascension Parish, where we developed and a massive facility out there for employee parking. This is and busing as well. This is dedicated to industry as well as commercial construction. T3 Industrial Solutions. If you need any of those services, that's where I've been hiding out.
That's where you've been hiding.
I've been in the lab cooking.
You've been in the lab.
I've been in the lab cooking.
Cooking your truck and your cement.
And I've not been cooking semen in the lab.
I said semen.
I haven't.
T on the end.
Haven't been doing. No. I've been cooking up T3, not that.
Okay.
So look, hold on.
Yeah, you got a website or something?
Yeah. T3isusa.com.
It's a long website.
T3isusa.com.
That's a long website, but I'm not going to lie to you. T3
IS.
IS is an industrial solution.
That's right.
Got it.
It's shorter than T3industrialsolutions.com.
T3 IS USA.
Because I love America.
.com.
God bless America.
Oh, look, there's your truck.
I got trucks.
There's the truck.
Look at the truck. Hold on. Keep watching.
It's a big truck.
You got a truck? Got a truck.
We got a big truck.
And rocks.
Okay. Oh, look at that, big rocks. Okay. Good. That's awesome. Congrats on that. The next iteration of Mr. The Ride.
Cooking, bro. Call me Betty Crocker, dog.
All right, Betty Crocker. I will call you Betty Crocker. All right, Paulie, hit me with the graphic. By the way, our celebrity guest picker in 17 minutes.
You're welcome, by the way. He wasn't an easy get. He was not an easy get.
You did not get the celebrity guest picker. I got the celebrity guest picker today, since you've completely quit on that as a weekly duty.
Yeah, that was bad. My bad. It's my bad. How would you like a world champion? Maybe a 4-time World Series champion, Hall of Fame manager. See if I can get him for next week.
Dusty Baker?
Nah. The newest.
Oh, Boch? Oh, that would be great. Boch would be great. Real quick, though, Paulie, let's see it. So before the season starts, this will be the only baseball we do today. Before the season starts, we go through and we pick our division champions, and then the AL NL champion, the World Series. So what am I looking at here, Paulie? Like I
got them individually.
So you're going to go one by one.
I was never good at these in school.
Oh, okay. So what are we starting with? Me?
So I'll show you our NL picks first, or AL picks first.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. We had. Okay. We all of us had the Yankees. We were all wrong.
Idiots.
In the Central, I had the Paulie, Musso, and I had the Guardians. You had the Sox. We were all wrong. It was the Twins.
Is this preseason?
We made these picks preseason, yes.
Holy moly.
Paulie, and Musso had the Astros in the West. You had the Mariners. We were right. So give me a ding, Alondra. We at least got something right there.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm looking. That's really good. All right, let's look at the NL, Paulie, if we could. All right, we'll go pick up the NL and see how this went.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we all had the Braves. So we all hit. Can we get a ding there? We all hit the Braves. In the Central, you had the Reds. The rest of us had the Cardinals. The Brewers won it. So we were all wrong. You have the buzzer. There's a buzzer there. Wrong. Buzzer, wrong. Yeah. Muse didn't tell you where that was. Stay hot, Muse. Driving to some wedding. By the way, Muse.
He wants her to stink.
Muse's got another wedding to go to today. Like, pick your friends better. What are you doing?
Grow up.
All right. Out west, Paulie and I had the Dodgers. You and Muse had Paulie and I had the Padres. You and Muse had the Dodgers, so you all were correct there.
I want a ding. There you go.
There you go. And then we had the World Series? Is this what we had? Okay, let's check our World Series matchups. I know I had the Yankees. I'm dead wrong here. I had Yankees-Padres. You had Yankees-Braves. Paulie had Padres-Astros. Muse had Yankees-Braves. And we saw a Rangers-Diamondbacks World Series. We nailed absolutely nothing.
I mean, that's horrible.
The only thing we got right was we all picked the Braves in the East. All of us except you picked the Astros in the West. And you and Muse had the Dodgers in the NL West. That's it. That's the only thing any of us got right.
Pretty bad.
Let's hope our NFL picks are better. We'll find out in February. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Ask Ryan, our guest picker in 15 minutes. You will not want to miss it. I'm fired up about our celebrity guest picker because I actually went and got a celebrity guest picker for this week. You're excited about it, too.
I am excited.
I already tweeted who it is. So if you go look at the show tweet from today on my Twitter, you'll see who it is. But anyway, I'm excited about our celebrity guest picker. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Both restaurants have brunch on Saturday and Sunday. The Watermark downtown, by the way, at the Gregory, has a great weekend brunch. A lot of people ask when they talk about the Watermark with the Gregory, well, you're going downtown, it's hard to park, all that stuff. No. If you're having brunch at the Gregory, free valet. So just pull up right in front of the Watermark. They'll go valet your car for free. How about that?
That's good.
Convenient. If you have not been to the Gregory, right there in the lobby of the Watermark, you're missing out. It's an amazing dining experience. That gorgeous atrium there in the lobby is awesome. Overlooking downtown Baton Rouge. You can see all the street and all the cars and the passers-by, the pedestrians. It's a gorgeous piece of history in Baton Rouge. It's the Watermark Hotel, downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of the insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at Relief Windows.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Let's get to Ask Ryan. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Come back after Sports Center. Our celebrity guest picker will be here for our pick'em. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all at Relief Windows, and they also now do shutters. So if you're going to get custom windows at Relief Windows, why wouldn't you get your custom shutters at Relief Windows also? They do it all. They measure twice, install once. You get that expert level from your installers, and also they're so good at the customer service angle that from the moment you first call to you have the measure tech come out to measure, to the installers, to the cleanup crew, you're going to actually have a really enjoyable customer service experience, which isn't always the case when we're talking about contractors coming into your home. With Relief Windows, you never have to worry about that, and they will never take $1 from you until they're finished and you are thrilled. That's Relief Windows. They are windows, door siding, but at Relief Windows, they're also experience, quality, and service. So what are you waiting on? Give them a call today or log on to reliefwindows.com, reliefwindows.com.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cleveland quarterback Deshaun Watson will start Sunday against the Cardinals. Watson has missed practically all of the playing time in the last 4 games with a strained right rotator cuff. The first game of the day Sunday is in Frankfurt, Germany, between the Chiefs and the Dolphins, both teams 6-2. ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
It has a feel, look, I don't want to overstate it, but it definitely feels far more like an AFC Championship game feel or a Super Bowl type of environment than a normal regular season game.
Jeff Darlington, Dodgers lefty Clayton Kershaw posts today he had surgery on his left shoulder. He hopes to be able to play at some point next summer. The Blue Jays and Whit Merrifield both declined his $18 million option for next year. He'll be a free agent. Marlins outfielder Jorge Soler opts out of his $13 million contract for next year. He'll become a free agent. Max Verstappen wins the pole for Sunday's Brazilian Grand Prix. Verstappen already the season champ, winning a record 16 of the 19 races so far this season.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, known to fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You pitch a better reload.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Terrio. Presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette. And online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
I have a good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Terrio. The throw. Not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Terrio around third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Packers win. Packers win.
Let's go. Get the point, cuz. Hey, Mr. Sit him down. Lead him off. Set him off. The whole team gon' hit around.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. And Matt?
You're a loser, man.
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Malandra Villarreal. And Terrio.
Shelby!
All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Football Friday, Tigers and Tide. We do this every single Friday at the top of hour number 3. We bring on our celebrity guest picker from the likes of Randy Moss and Charles Barkley and Evander Holyfield and Darius Rucker and who else? Gary V. Who else have we had?
Oh, man, all kind of
Lots.
people. We had, President Obama.
No, we didn't have it. No, we didn't have him.
We didn't have him.
Didn't have Obama. No.
Oh, okay.
Trump? Get him?
We didn't have
it. Nope.
No Trump.
All right, let's meet this week's guest picker.
There he is, American Stanford Steve. We got the bad beats.
God bless you for taking over some Northwestern games, too. Just the way LSU goes about it. There's more bravada. They're more fun, too. We're lighting the load. People say it was a little confusing. We're going 4-pack of tall boys here. Coming up.
From College Game Day and Sports Center with SVP Steve Coughlin, or as we call him affectionately, Stanford Steve. How are you, Stanford Steve?
Can't complain. This is as good as it gets, man.
No.
Actually, I'm lying. If it was in Baton Rouge,
yes.
As good as it
Give
gets.
him a ding. Give that man a ding. Give that man a ding. I was going to correct you. This is noted. This is noted LSU homer Stanford Steve, by the way. The very, very many times that I happen to be watching Sports Center, and there is Steve hiding his LSU T-shirts under his blazer. We're going to scroll those all throughout this segment as well for those watching. Steve,
yeah.
when did your LSU homerism begin?
I actually, you know what? I keep telling this. It feels like it keeps coming up, but my first trip was Coach Saban's first trip back as Bama head coach.
Oh, wait.
And Yeah, I got the full dose, full treatment, game day radio outside of walk-ons. Oh, man, that was – I'll never forget it. Never, ever. I remember taking a cab ride, and the cab driver was, I'm just asking a million questions. Hey, what's this? What's that? And and the cab driver says, I don't know what the big deal is, but it's about Coach Saban. Mike the Tiger's house cost more than Coach Saban's did.
He ain't wrong, man.
He ain't lying.
It took him years of fundraising for that thing, man. That was actually, you know who that was, man? That was Terry and Mark Emmerich's wife, who did the I Like Mike campaign to fundraise to build Mike's new habitat. So the Sabans left an indelible mark here. There's no doubt about it. Steve, look, y'all are in Tuscaloosa, obviously, for game day tomorrow morning. As when you go through the week with game day and you're preparing for that, like how deep do you really dig into this matchup, all of the different storylines to put together a long form show like that?
Well, when you have guys that are fully engulfed in everything, and you have guys like Reese Davis and Herbie and our producers Jimmy and their staff, like so much of stuff like that. The Alabama side, we've dug up so much and did our homework coming into this year when we were here for the Texas game, and now it's kind of the new. All right, what new flavor can we bring in? We haven't been at an LSU game, and how do you go about going that with them being the road team and telling their story? So there's plenty of ways to go about it, but our staff it feels great about it. And that's the treatment, right? You want to give the game that you're at the utmost treatment, and I feel like we are locked and loaded for that tomorrow.
Steve, how I got to get at least one question on this game because we're going to pick the games in a second, but
yeah,
I mean, I look at this LSU offense and I just don't see how Alabama stops it. But the flip side of it is I know LSU's defense is really bad, but is Alabama's offense good enough to keep up? Like, which side of the ball do you see as the more important matchup tomorrow?
Oh, I think it's LSU's defense against Bama's offense. Because when you look at it, I mean, you guys know the deal with the injuries of Wingo and Alexander. I mean, it's next man up. We know that for you guys. But when you look at what's at stake and the idea, and I think about the matchup of Tommy Rees, and what he's done in years prior at Notre Dame, springing upsets on a Clemson and teams like that, the majority of those have been is they have played keep away from the other team's quarterback. And that's the idea I get here is we're going to see multiple tight ends. We're going to see, wide zone runs. We're going to see jet sweeps to make sure those guys in the middle are running for LSU's defense. Then they're going to come at them downhill. And then Milroe's favorite throws are those throws over the top. And, I mean, the interchange, all the changes that have been made in that secondary for LSU, I think that's the way you attack them is get their, play that eye candy game, get eyes everywhere up front and side to side, and then you get guys going vertical. A lot what LSU does on offense. Jaden's just been unbelievable with his playmaking ability, but I do believe that Alabama has the goods to frustrate the heck out of LSU's defense.
Stanford Steve is our celebrity guest picker. We'll get to the games. Hey, how much do you travel during the week? What's the travel week like for you?
Well, I'm doing Monday Night Football with Van Pelt, so it's Monday, fly to Monday Night Football, fly home after the game. Tuesday was Halloween this week. I got 3 girls under 10, so that was probably the busiest day. Wednesday, we were on following NBA at 12:30 at night. Last night, we followed Duke Wake Forest. Didn't get much sleep, maybe an hour or two, and got on a plane and came down here, did College Football Live, Daily Wager, Sports Center, and now I'm joining you. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's as much fun as I've had in my whole life. And to be fully engulfed in the sport that I love, I wouldn't trade it in for anything. And I have a hard time saying no. That's also a problem that I need to work on. But I'm taking it all in, man. Fully embracing the journey is what I've been calling it.
I love it, man. Stanford Steve is our celebrity guest picker, part of the Bald Brethren. We're all there together, dude. All right, hey man, are you gonna we'll get to the games here? Are you gonna make it to Baton Rouge, or is it strictly just whenever, wherever game day says you're going, that's where you're going to be on a football Saturday?
That's where I am. Being on the show now, that's the tough part. So. Already looking at next year's schedule. How about that?
Can y'all come for A&M this year?
I think A&M has to do some work.
Fair enough. All right, let's get to the games. All right, Stanford Steve. Alondra, hit us with the music if you would. It's easy. We got 10 games. I know you're all in on Daily Wager and all the ESPN bets content, but this is just straight up. Okay, so no spreads. We're just picking winners. Let's look at the leaderboard for right now. So our buddy Russ Mitchell from College Football News went 9-1 earlier this year. That's the benchmark. So you got to go perfect if you're going to beat him.
Wow.
I know he had a hell of a week. Bringing up the rear are Tony La Russa, who was 5-4 week 1, and Fred Smoot, former Mississippi State grad. I don't know if you remember Fred.
DC man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, with the Redskins.
Absolutely.
Smootsmack.com. Back in the days of like old awful websites in the late 90s, he had a website called smootsmack.com. Steve, if you can find it, it's worth it. Someone did a Shaft remake with instead of Shaft, they dubbed Smoot over Shaft. It was absolutely perfect.
Well,
if you ever get a shot.
Well, I had a couple teammates from Stanford that played with Smoot with the Vikings. Next time you see Smoot, ask him what his boat was named.
Oh my God, the Vikings cruise story.
Yes.
He actually, Steve, like we talked about, he was on with us like 4 or 5 years ago. We talked openly about that, and he'll tell, like, he has no problem. Like, he has
they don't.
Gives 0 Fs, man. He will go. All right, let's get into it. Just picking winners. We'll start with the 11 a.m. Central slate. Big one in the Big 12, Steve. Kansas State at Texas. Who do you like?
Yeah, a lot of people wanted more out of Malik Murphy last week in his debut. I think he gets it going here. Texas had a lot of success against Kansas State. I'm going to take Texas at home.
All right, Texas, Terrio?
Yeah, I'm going Texas as well.
All right, we're all going with the Horns. Steve, I think the 11 a.m. game in the SEC, A&M and Ole Miss is big because whoever loses this, like I could see them completely disintegrating in November. The Aggies at the Rebels. Who do you like?
All week I was thinking about the matchup up front. I liked A&M's personnel on defense, but I think Lane has it going with that run game. And also, I'll let you know a secret. This has game day implications. If Ole Miss wins and Georgia takes care of business, I can see ourselves in Athens next week. I'm going to take Lane Kiffin.
Wow. All right, going Ole Miss. Terrio.
Man, I just think Ole Miss is going to do Ole Miss things. Give me A&M. They got better personnel.
I agree. Okay. A&M's defense. I'm taking the Aggies as well. So, Steve, if when A&M upsets Ole Miss, then where are y'all going?
I have no idea.
Baton Rouge, baby.
Baton Rouge, man. The Gators are coming here next week. Come to Baton Rouge, Steve. I'll get us a table at Rufino's. Let's do it, bro.
Grilled alligator walk-ons.
All right. A game that looks nice on the marquee, but that's about it. Notre Dame at Clemson. Who you got, Steve?
What a week for Clemson. Going back, losing NC State, losing Shipley. I don't think he's going to be able to play the way he looked laying on that field. And then the radio show incident. I think it's the last stand for Clemson. I'm going to take the home team.
Wow,
Clemson.
Okay.
I kind of want to do it too. I was thinking about that earlier. Give me Clemson.
You're going Clemson. I am absolutely taking Notre Dame in this game. Give me the Irish. It just keeps getting worse for Clemson. All right, in the SEC. So Steve, when Florida beats Arkansas and LSU upsets Bama, so y'all are coming here next week then, yeah?
Well, I'm going to pick Arkansas. So that's not going to happen.
Are you really going? Are you going Arkansas?
Yeah, I think it's a tough spot for Florida, knowing what they expended last week. Arkansas off a bye. They're talking about how they're going to go tempo. Rocket Sanders, who might be the biggest difference maker for a team, that they haven't had all year. I just something's fishy there. Arkansas, I'll take them.
All right.
Arkansas's played a ton of close games and had a tough schedule and got the bye. Give me Arkansas in this one as well.
I agree. Arkansas off the bye gets their first conference win, which means, of course, Florida's going to go rout them in the Swamp tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
Last conference game for Bedlam. Sooners at the Pokes. Who you got, Steve?
I love what Mike Gundy has done. I love this game just because of the pure hatred that there is. I love hate, and as much as the story is good about Oklahoma State in that run game, I still don't think they have the goods on defense. Oklahoma wins the game. I don't know if they cover, but they're going to win.
I think so, too. Oklahoma.
I will gobble up those 6 points and hold my breath and hope that Oklahoma State wins the game. But I agree with you, fellas. If I'm just looking straight up, I will take the Sooners on the road. Actually, you know what? Screw that. I had it written down. I'm scratching that off. Oklahoma State at home. change my pick, Paul. I'm going with Oklahoma State.
Wow.
Forget it. Complete impulse. I'm going Oklahoma State in that game. No way that Gundy is losing Bedlam in his last the last. Gundy's been in 30 of these. You think he's going to lose the last one on his home field? No way. All right, Missouri at Georgia. This should be the layup of the pick'em.
Yep.
Yeah, I do think Missouri covers though.
Okay.
I like what they bring to the table, but yeah, I don't see them winning the game. I think they hang around. 10-point game. Georgia wins the game.
Georgia. Okay, Georgia all around. The other big one, see, there's this clump of teams that are all one loss in the Big 12, so big implications there. The other one is Kansas coming off the upset of Oklahoma now on the road in Ames. Kansas at Iowa State. Who do you like?
Yeah, you got the case of an unranked versus a ranked, and the unranked team is favored. Iowa State wins.
Go ahead, Terry. Yep.
Give me Kansas.
I agree with Steve completely. Unranked against favored over a ranked team. It's an auto play for me every single time. Give me Iowa State. Steve, just because we're in the South, Kentucky at Mississippi State for no other reason.
This seems way too easy, guys. I think Kentucky's a decent football team. I don't think Mississippi State is. With that being said, something weird's going to happen in the night game. I'm going to take Mississippi State.
Okay.
It would be a night. It is a night game. Place is going to be loud with the stupid cowbells. Everybody hates those dumb cowbells. Yeah, give me Mississippi State as well.
Wow, I thought I was going to be the outlier here. I actually like Mississippi State as well in this ballgame to get it done. The biggest disappointment in the SEC this year, Kentucky, where
their offense. Oh my God!
It felt like Stoops is a quarterback killer now. I mean, look at Will Levis. Now look at Devin Leary. It's I think State with that defense will get it done at home. All right, two more, Steve. The big one in the Pac-12: Washington at Southern Cal. Does Washington get their first blemish?
I believe so. I don't like what I've seen. I mean, they gave up 33 points to a Stanford team that doesn't do anything well. They haven't been the same team since they beat Oregon. Caleb in that offense is comfortable in a shootout. Give me SC.
And I'm starting to wonder about Oregon a little bit, too. I'm going to take SC.
Damn, I thought I was going to, be impactful with some of these picks. I agree. I think Southern Cal wins the game. Southern Cal's defense is awful, but Washington, after the Oregon win, I could have understood a letdown, but back-to-back really disappointing performances, how they, no disrespect, Steve, but how they didn't blow Stanford off the field is mind-boggling.
Exactly.
I mean, this is, and by the way, Southern Cal's only got one conference loss. They can still make the Pac-12 championship game. This is a massive game for USC. I think they win it. All right, last one, Steve, the game that you're at. Can you make a pick here?
Yeah, I'll be on an island by myself. Here's the deal. If LSU wins, the game's going over the total. If Bama wins, the game's going under the total. I think it's at 61.5. Also, too, for all you LSU people that think you're going to win, just bet Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman, because if they win this game, he's winning the Heisman Trophy. With all that being said, I'll take Bama.
Oh, Steve, you had to do it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. You had to do it. Terrio?
I got to go with the Tigers.
All right, Terrio's going LSU. As is customary, I will make my pick in the last segment of the show today, Steve. But I'll text you and tell you. But Steve, what I will tell you, I have already made a very handsome play on the over in this ball game, because I think it doesn't matter who wins. There's no way this game is staying under 61.5. So if you,
I would love to watch that in person. I'll tell you that.
I think we're gonna have a good game. Stanford Steve on Twitter or X at Stanford Steve 82. Noted LSU homer. You will always see Stanford Steve with the LSU T-shirt under the blazer on SportsCenter representing. Always been always had very, very kind things to say about Baton Rouge and the Tigers. Steve, we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. I know it's a busy week. We appreciate you carving out some time, man.
I might have to make a special flight down there, because all three of my daughters, their Mike the Tiger stuffed animals, might be losing their heads pretty soon because they take them. So we might have to be a special, because those were bought down in Baton Rouge, and they only want the authentic Mike the Tigers from Baton Rouge. So hope to see you soon, guys, and I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. We appreciate you, man. The one and only Stanford Steve. Catch him on game day tomorrow morning. It is like a super, super, super. You heard him say his travel schedule and then going from SportsCenter, College Football Live, Daily Wager. He literally was available now because he just got done doing Daily Wager. That's why it just happened that 5 o'clock work, because he just got done doing Daily Wager. So, and then to jump on a call with us for 15 minutes is so nice. So I very, very much appreciate a couple of minutes there from Stanford Steve. So if you're on Twitter, actually, I'll go follow at Stanford Steve 82 and just give him a shout out and thank him for coming on the show, because, I mean, obviously you don't have to do that, and especially on such a busy week. So we appreciate Steve so much for that. Okay, it's after further review. Let's knock out a quick break. We'll continue next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. You know where to find them. It's at Get Gordon on any of the social media platforms. And, of course, you can go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Or you can go to gordongives.com. Remember, if you go to gordongives.com, they got the link right there where you can look at all the different Grubbin with G videos, the interview series. That look, the newest one is with Garrett Nussmeier. That's up right now. If you go to gordongives.com, you can hit the Grubbin with G featuring Garrett Nussmeier. But also remember, all the members of the G team have autographed these footballs, and so they're giving them away every week. So if you go to gordongives.com, hit the autographed football giveaway. It's just a very easy entry form right there. Football's autographed by Garrett Nussmeier and Jay Daniels and Harold Perkins and Greg Brooks. So check it out at gordongives.com. Of course, as we always say, if you've been in an accident and it's not your fault, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. Call 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I look fly, I look good. Touch my swag, wish you could. I look fly, I look good. On my mama.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rohan Davey, what an amazing afternoon for Davey and Josh Reed as they collaborate for record-setting days. And Louisiana State wins on the road, 35-21.
LSU's 2001 win there at Bryant Dennehy Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Rohan Davey throws for over 500 yards. Josh Reed goes off for 293. I've told this story before. I was at that game with my dad, and my dad worked for Lamar for 20 years, Billboard Company. and Lamar had an office in Tuscaloosa or around there. And so they got us tickets, and the tickets were on the 50-yard line behind the Alabama bench, like 10 rows up. They were
perfect.
I mean, they were incredible.
Yeah.
But I was college Matt. I wasn't corporate Matt.
You were like right around in the wheelchair, taking shots.
Yes.
Yelling at people, Matt. Tiger bait, Matt.
Tiger bait would be the mildest thing that 21-year-old Matt was saying in Tuscaloosa that day. Tiger bait. You think that's what I was screaming?
Did the Deke participate?
Every now and again, he got in the spirit a little bit.
Right.
Wanted to join the boys. Be the cool guy. But we walk into the stadium, and if you've ever been there, they all have their shakers, right? They're crimson and white shakers,
nerds.
right? Yeah. Well, they put them on all the seats. So we go to the seat, and I'm not starting anything, but I'm wearing my LSU stuff, and there's a shaker on my seat. Well, there's a shaker on the seat. What do you do?
Shake it, throw it.
Like, if you're an LSU fan, you go to your seat, and there's a crimson and white shaker. I just
step on it.
Just threw it on the ground.
Threw it on the ground.
I just took it and just threw it on the ground.
That's not bad.
And so nothing bad.
That's not bad.
I just threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
And an old woman wearing, like one of those like knitted sweater vests things. You know what I'm talking about? She's got like the white blouse underneath the knitted crimson vest, like with an A here and like an elephant here. And she leans over and goes, "You better respect those colors." I'm like,
what'd she say?
"You better respect them colors." I was like, some stream of vulgarity.
Did she have a brooch?
Of course she had a brooch. I mean, just imagine whatever it is that you would imagine is the quintessential example of that old fan, and that's who she was.
What'd she say again? She said,
"You better respect them colors."
Yep.
I'm sure I said some version of respect this, and whatever would transpire. And then the best part about it is that Rohan went on to throw for 500 yards that day. Needless to say, there wasn't a lot of pom-poms shaking around me the rest of the day. And Matty Mo got a little obnoxious. One of my favorites, man. I loved that 0-1 team, man. It was so much fun to watch that team break through. And really the game in Tuscaloosa is the one that did it because they had lost the game. You don't remember this, I know. But in 2001, they lost a fourth-quarter lead at home to Ole Miss. It was Eli Manning as a sophomore. That was really Eli's coming out, was leading that fourth-quarter comeback, and it handed LSU its third loss in conference because they had lost earlier in the season to Florida and to Tennessee. And it felt like, when you lost that game to Ole Miss, it was just going to be another disappointing season. Like, go to Bama, have that day, and that's when they started really their ascension. And, of course, they would go on and beat Arkansas. And then the Auburn game that was postponed from 9/11 got played the first Saturday in December when the SEC championship game normally would have been played. And because that Bama team, which was not very good that year, that Bama team with Andrew Zhao at quarterback beat Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which was a big upset that year. It set up the de facto SEC West championship between LSU and Auburn. And when LSU beat Auburn, they handed Auburn their third SEC loss, and LSU had the head-to-head tiebreaker. So LSU went to Atlanta, and we know beat Tennessee. But that LSU Alabama game in 2001, where Rohan threw for 500 and Reed had 293, was the one that was sort of the springboard the rest of that season.
Did they track yards after contact at that point? Because Josh Reed, it seemed like one person never tackled him.
Yeah, he was so good. I would tell you the two receivers in LSU history, and I would probably add Malik now to this list. The two receivers that were the best that I saw. Okay, I'm not talking about like I didn't. You could talk about to older LSU fans who would tell you about like Carlos Carson or Eric Martin with LSU. I remember Eric Martin with the Saints. I don't remember his LSU days. But when I'm talking about in the time I've watched, the guys that were the best at creating separation without contact, their ability to put their foot in the ground and change direction full speed, were Josh Reed and Jarvis Landry. They were the two best that I ever saw. And Malik is in that company because he's not a huge guy, but because he can run full speed into his break and seemingly not lose speed and accelerate through a cut. Jarvis was so violent when he did it.
Angry. Both of them.
His ability to cut so violently. And I remember watching him train for the traction. I remember watching him train for the combine for his pro. Well, he didn't have a good combine. And then he went to traction because Mac trained him for his pro day. Because remember, Jarvis's 40 time at the combine was not good. And then he trained with Mac. I mean, Mac's the best. And then I think he went from like a 4.7 something to 4.5, whatever it was. It was huge for Jarvis. But anyway, I remember, and I'd have that conversation with Mac, and he would point that out a lot. But Malik's in that number as well. But that's back to the point about Josh Reed. I mean, that was the thing that I remember most about Josh Reed is for a guy that was not very big and wasn't the fastest guy. The reason he was always open is because his ability to cut and not lose any of his speed, accelerate through a cut, he was always open.
And then post catch, he was a running back playing receiver.
Yes. I mean, you're right. He was. I mean, he came here as a running back, and Saban switched him to wide receiver. So that was a fun game, man. Speaking of which, I was supposed to. This is actually not even planned. Traction. It's on the rundown to talk about right now. TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. So if you're Jarvis Landry getting ready for your pro day or the NFL Combine, whatever it is, or if you're a high school student or JV trying to make the varsity, TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. You can get individual training. There's small group sports-specific training as well. I mean, world-class facilities. Literally the facilities and trainers that work with professional athletes in all these sports can work with your son or daughter right there on Burbank in Baton Rouge, TractionSports.com. And remember, the Traction camps, the holiday camps are coming up. So Thanksgiving's right around the corner, Christmas, New Year's. If you're working and your kids are out of school, you're like, what do we do with the kids? We'll send them to Traction. Full and half-day options for the camps are available. TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. I like that tagline.
That's a good one.
Did you come up with it?
But I like it.
Who did?
Mac.
Oh, that's Max.
Max.
Well, in that case, it stinks.
It stinks.
In that case, he can kick rocks. That can do. All right, it's after further review. I didn't intend to talk that much about 2001 or the receivers, but that was a fun conversation, I thought.
I love that conversation.
Alondra was supposed to do Tigers and the Pros right here. So, you know what? You can do it quickly, yeah? Okay, let's do it quickly. Alondra has Tigers and the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
I'll run through it real fast. Thursday night football last night, Steelers versus the Titans. Tigers on both sides of the ball there. Patrick Peterson had 3 tackles and a pass deflection. Also on the Steelers, Quan Alexander had 2 tackles and an interception in their win over the Titans.
The game-sealing interception as the Titans were going for a potential it would have been a winning score, but it would have busted the spread.
Yeah. Christian Fulton on the Titans. He had 5 tackles and a pass deflection. And Arden Key also recorded 2 tackles for the Titans. To keep it concise, that's Tigers in the Pros.
Look at TV. There's Stanford Steve, right?
Stanford
He's
Steve.
literally right. They're replaying Daily Wager right now on ESPN2, and Stanford Steve's on ESPN.
There he is.
I'm telling you, man, our guy is really nice of him to come on, man. Those days are. Yeah, I remember we've been on location several times where game day. By the way, forgive me. Tigers in the Pros presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of popping the question this Christmas, slide a gift in that red box under the Christmas tree from Lee Michaels, where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. I remember we're at Lambeau for the Wisconsin game, and game day was there. And watching how much those guys work when they're at game day is, and obviously all the times they've been here, but the amount of television hits and the different responsibilities they have when they're on location, it's a lot of work. And then you'd love to be able to go out and hang out on Friday night, but you got an early wake-up call because you're starting at 8 a.m. Central Time. So it's been a few nights where those game day guys have been at Rufino's late.
And they just puke and rally, babe.
Seen them out there a little bit.
Yep.
A little bit.
Yep. Make it happen.
A little bit. They're showing right now the notable LSU players not playing. Mekhi Wingo, Zy Alexander, Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut. It's a little misleading, though, because Denver Harris and Deuce Chestnut weren't playing anyway. You know.
What happened to those guys?
Well,
like Chestnut had one good game.
No, he didn't.
Okay, maybe
he played the opener against Florida State and got mossed the entire game.
Did he have a good half?
No.
Did he ever do anything good? Am I thinking about somebody else?
Must be thinking about somebody else because it wasn't him, friend.
Yes, I am.
It wasn't him. I mean, it was very clear that he couldn't play this level, and so he hadn't played, so he left the team.
So where is he? What's he doing?
Not with the team. I'm sure he's gonna transfer and try to go play somewhere. He might go back to Syracuse. One of the things I heard whispered. I mean, I'm not trying to start rumors or anything. Was potentially back to Syracuse, but anyway, I don't know. All right, let's knock out this quick break. We'll continue. We'll get you a Saints Bears pick next, and we'll also get to our final LSU Bama picks before we get out of here. We're glad you're with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You know what's going on at Rouse's right now?
People are shopping for groceries.
It's the truckload sale. Check it out. It says it right there on the screen. Truckload sale. Shop early. Stock up for the holidays. The truckload sale is going on at Rouse's. You want fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts? $1.88 a pound right now. Jamestown brand bacon. 16-ounce pack, 2 for $5. How about pork spare ribs?
I like spare ribs.
How about those? How about a 3-pound bag of yellow onions?
Who doesn't like onions?
How about the smoked ham shank portion from Sugardale? $1.88 a pound. You kidding me? The deals, they just don't stop over at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. We encourage you all the time to download that Rouse's app. They have curbside pickup and delivery options. It's the truckload sale going on at Rouse's right now. So stock up for the holidays. They got you covered with more than 60 locations from Lake Charles all the way to Orange Beach, Alabama. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Keeps it. Joe Burrow hasn't produced enough of them.
First down run in the fourth quarter by Joey B back in 2019. Of course, Clyde Edwards-Helaire would finish off that scoring drive for the Tigers, would polish off the scoring for LSU. Tigers would beat the Tide there in Tuscaloosa. It's interesting that when you look at this series, of course, LSU was favored in Tuscaloosa back in 2007. And the times LSU's won since, they haven't been a favorite in Tuscaloosa since, obviously. In 2011, the Tigers were a 4.5 point dog. 2019, they were a 5.5 point dog, and went there and won. Now the Tigers find themselves a 3-point underdog. It was, that was the moment that really catapulted Joe Burrow's Heisman candidacy. Of course, he had so many of them that year. But what are you expecting from Jaden Daniels tomorrow?
I don't know if we're just spoiled or if I'm just spoiled, but I expect him to run for, 100+ yards. I expect him to throw for 300-ish yards. I expect him to do what he's done all year. Other than the Florida State game and that one, there were some drops and obviously some things that didn't quite go his way. The offense is clicking much better now. He's been extremely consistent. The one thing that we begged him to do the last year's is push the ball down the field. Well, yeah, he's doing that better, but he's also coming off his first read, second read, sometimes his third read. His first thought is not just run. The last couple games we have seen him take a few sacks that I don't think he really needed to, so maybe that's the last deal, but that to get him to where he needs to be. But I expect Jaden to have an awesome game. I don't see how you cannot.
I do too. By the way, you mentioned Florida State. I'll continue to say it. It's the biggest misnomer that the offense didn't play well that day. They did. LSU, Jaden threw for 346 in that game. LSU put up more than 450 yards of offense against Florida State. But in the first quarter, they had the opening possession of the game. They got all the way down inside the 10. And they got stopped on a fourth and short. And then they scored on their second possession. Third possession, they went right down the field again and got inside the 10. Penalty moved them back out. They went for it on a fourth again. They tried to stretch it and got stopped behind the line. And they missed scoring opportunities early in the game, but they moved the ball almost at will. And then you forget it was still a one-score game. In the last play, the second to last drive of the third quarter, he's got Kyron Lacey wide open in the middle of the field, puts it on him, and Kyron drops it. They punt. The next possession, it's the last play of the third quarter, and Jaden's got Brian Thomas down the left sideline for a walk-in, and he drops it. And then the first play of the fourth quarter was an interception because Malik slipped. And then Florida State had the short field, scored, and put it away. But it was a one-score game at that point. Because it got away in the fourth quarter after the interception, and you look at 45-24, it is clouded how we think about that game. And I think Alabama and Florida State mirror each other a lot. I think Florida State has definitely a better, more dynamic veteran quarterback and a better receiver room. Although I think Bama's got good talented receivers. But Florida State's offense is better than Alabama's, but their defenses are very comparable. I think this is a very similar style game that LSU played against Florida State that we're going to see again. LSU's got to finish their drives when they have opportunities early. Bama's trailed 3 games at half, man. They've trailed 3 times in conference play at half, and then teams just couldn't deliver the knockout blow. Ole Miss led them at half. A&M led them at half. Tennessee led them by 13 at half.
And here's what I'm going to say, too, about Jaden Daniels. You just mentioned those three games. This is a guy that's been doing this since he was 18 years old in big games. Never have I once watched him play and go, he's not ready, or the game's too big for him, or he looks scared, or he doesn't. That doesn't happen with this guy. He's been a cool customer his entire time here. And like I said, man, I expect him to have a fabulous game. Now, can somebody else step up on the other side of the football, big turnover, whatever it may be, come and contribute?
Yeah, the one everybody talks about was his freshman year against Oregon. That was the Justin Herbert-led Oregon team that was number 6 in the country. Daniels that day was 22 of 32 for 408 3 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, that was his announcement, and then of course the COVID year followed. But anyway,
at 18 years old,
as a true late in his true freshman season, Jaden's poise, I think, is the attribute that allows all of the other things to be accentuated because, and I've talked about this with RC and of course because Jordan, Ryan Clark's son Jordan, played with Jaden at Arizona State, and as I always say, it's just 5. I mean, it's just they asked him how how he was feeling after they beat Bama last year. He's like, just whatever, just 5. Just how he is. He's just a very collected young guy. So I don't think Jaden Daniels is emotional or moved by the moment tomorrow. I don't think it's too big for him or anything like that. I think he's going to be fine. I think LSU's going to go and do what they've done all year offensively. They're going to move the ball and they're going to score. I just really wonder if LSU defensively is going to be able to come up with enough plays to win the game.
It always seems like there's something new in this game from one side or the other. I mean, is there like a different look offensively or different look defensively? Is there anything that you think may look and go, oh man, they've been holding that this whole time?
I don't know if it's like holding anything. I mean, like one of the things we saw Ole Miss do, was well, not even offensive. I mean, Ole Miss defensively against Alabama really ramped up the pressure and didn't play coverage against them. And maybe you see LSU do that.
Mm-hmm.
Go just say, hey, man, you're going to go man on the outside with the receivers. We're bringing numbers to go try to affect Milroe. And maybe we see LSU do that. You're vulnerable in the back end. But, I think special teams could be huge in this game where LSU's lost so much hidden yardage in the punt game with Greg Clayton not fielding punts. I think about what are going to be the moments where you have the sudden change in the plus field. Like, does Bama muff a punt or fumble and give LSU the short field? Remember the 2019 game. Bama's going into the end zone, and Tua just dropped the ball. And then late in the half, Bama was trying to make a play, and they threw the pick to Patrick Queen, and then LSU hits Clyde on the wheel route, and LSU's up 20 at half. I mean, it was those sudden change plays that took points away from Bama and gave LSU more scoring opportunities. You just got to take advantage of when they come. So, I mean, you hope that those favor LSU on Saturday night, right, and not the other way around.
Yeah.
All right, we'll grab our final break of the show. We'll come back and wrap it up next. We'll give you a final pick, and if we have time, we'll get a few Ask Ryan questions in. So stay with us here. One segment left to go on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. For River City's 1 Hour Air, you'll find the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. They're just simply the best. If you're starting to crank up that heater because it's been freezing at night and you've not yet had your heater safety check, y'all, please don't put this off. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. Schedule that preseason heater safety check. They'll come out to the house. Nights, holidays, and weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, and weekends. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off that preseason heater safety check at River City's 1 Hour Air. Give them a call, 752-0001, 752-0001. We're heading into the weekend. Even if it's during the LSU Bama game, they'll come out with no extra charge. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, real quick, Saints-Bears. Who do you like?
I like the Saints in this game. I think the Saints are going to win this. The Bears stink. But yeah, give me the Saints.
If the Saints lose to the Chicago Bears, that should be a fireable offense. You cannot lose to Tyson Bagent, making his third start, second consecutive on the road. The Saints, I mean, you're an 8.5-point home favorite. There is no excuse whatsoever. If the Saints lose the Chicago Bears, I'm dead serious. Fire Dennis Allen on Monday. Like, don't even wait till Monday. Fire him Sunday night. Like, you've got to beat the Chicago Bears. There's no excuse whatsoever to lose this game on Sunday. All right, we're brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Remember, you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge if you want to make a $5 bet. New customer, make a $5 bet on the NBA. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbooks. That's new customers. Remember, we've got a full day of college football coming up on Saturday. You want to bet on all of it. Get some college games tonight. You can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Check out the great boosts and all the great offers that they have for existing customers and new customers at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers, use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on the NBA, and they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, last thing. Let's make a pick on LSU and Alabama. Who you got?
Give me the Tigers. I really think they're going to score a ton of points, and I think they're going to pull this one out. It's been said by a number of people. If it's in the 40s, LSU's going to win, and I think they're going to score 40.
37-34 is the final score I've settled on. I just haven't settled on who's going to win the game. I think we've seen this game play out where both teams struggle to get any type of stop. This is a game that LSU should feel very comfortable playing because they've played in this game. I think Jaden Daniels is unflappable. LSU clearly has the better offense and the better quarterback.
You talking yourself into
this
it?
is on the road in Tuscaloosa.
You
so
are,
stupid.
bro.
This is on the road in Tuscaloosa, though. That's still Nick Saban. They've got the SEC's career scoring leader in Will Reichert. If it comes down to a play in the fourth quarter, the question is, like, you made that play against Arkansas. You made the play against Missouri. Against Ole Miss, you're up 9, and you needed one more score or a stop, and you couldn't get it. And you lost. So I kind of look at it and I go, but the Missouri offense and the Ole Miss offense are dramatically different from this Alabama offense.
Are they better?
Way better than this Alabama offense.
All right.
LSU's defense isn't good.
They're not.
They're going to give up a lot of yards and a lot of points.
That's okay. That's okay.
They're going to give up a lot of points and a lot of yards.
Who's going to win?
I don't want to make a pick, man. My head says Bama 37-34. My heart says LSU 37-34.
Okay. All right. Who's going to win? Who are we going with?
Give me Jaden Daniels.
Go Tigers!
AFR.
All right, as we get on down the road, remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Hey, Christmas in November was yesterday.
It was lit.
It was lit. Did you go?
I drove by a couple of times. I couldn't get a parking spot.
It's jam-packed. You can still take advantage of those specials online, or actually on the phone and online today. At theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Next Thursday is Christmas in November in Lafayette. So for the Lafayette location, make sure you take advantage of that. So Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette coming up this coming Thursday. So in 6 days. I was over there today at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Medical grade supplements, great products as well, and services. It's the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Look and feel like your younger self. They can help. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards